Hello, hello, and welcome. It's time for our Apollo Justice stream.
Nice.
Prince Ali, what's up, dude? Good to see ya. We're getting so close to being done with the second game. At least the main game.
Yeah.
We still have the DLC to do, of course. I think it's a relatively short case, though, if I recall correctly.
It wasn't too long.
Yeah, I hear that. Are we ready, kids?
No.
No, we're not. You're not streaming in Discord.
There we go. Thank you. See, that's why I asked. There we go.
Holy shit, I gotta be a robot from the get-go. Fine.
It'll be okay, Desi.
If you say
Probably.
so, I'll trust
Okay, now are we ready, kids?
you. No, I want to sleep.
I mean, I can go do something else.
Just do this. Jackass.
You sure you don't want to sleep?
Yeah, I'll be fine.
Alright, well, let's get into it then.
Do you want to have some muted warm-ups?
So what?
To mute yourself and then, like, do the voice by yourself. Then warm up to it. So a muted warm-up.
No, fine. I'm a professional, excuse you.
The professionals do that kind of thing. A lot of them do training exercises.
Fair enough. I knew you were gonna say that the moment I said professional. I went to the robotics lab at about 2 p.m. for my regular recharge. Just as I was about to charge up, Athena came in and hooked Mommy Metis. And then Mommy Metis fell down. After that, I was recharging, so I don't know anything. After I charged up, I was cleaning the room, and Mr. Simon came in. Then it never occurred. There is no data up to that point.
Yikes.
Well, it sounds like the defendant was without question at the scene. However, it doesn't appear that the witness saw the actual moment of the murder.
Let's see. I need to not make him sound like Clavier.
Nah, it's fine.
I disagree. This testimony shows that the defendant did indeed commit the crime. How's that?
That's fine.
You
What?
sure?
Yeah.
I like Flavia's voice, I don't mind
At
it.
the end of the day, we mustn't forget that this witness is still a machine.
What do you call the machine?
Being a robot, its understanding and capability to express itself are limited.
So what are you suggesting?
The witness statements need to be interpreted. For example, the terms hugged and then later fell down. Adults don't usually fall down after being hugged by a child.
They don't, but...
Yes. What this witness's statements are telling us is that the defendant stabbed the victim with the murder weapon during this moment.
Objection. And my child sometimes jumps on me to
It's
hug me. I almost fall down.
Almost.
That's a false statement.
Yeah, how fast was Athena going? Kids could run really fast.
Yeah, kids can be very
Wha
strong.
what?
Before Miss Sykes hugged Dr. Sykes, did the two of them converse?
Hey, what's up, Shiny?
Hello, Mr. Heine. That is also shiny.
Oh my god.
Do I have
Yes,
another?
they
Yep,
did.
yep, I still have it. There you go,
They
dude.
spoke, they spoke to each other very loudly, but I don't know what they said. Athena is usually so quiet, so I was surprised.
Spoke very loudly. We can interpret this to mean they argued.
Edward is being edgy today.
I see. Murder after a
Not
heated
edgy
argument,
enough.
and then the victim fell down. I agree it does sound like a reasonable interpretation. However, Ponko doesn't seem to remember anything that happened after that.
I miss our prisoner. When I am
That
recharging, I go into sleep mode.
that's Desi.
No, that's Bunko.
That's Ponko.
But I remember everything before that. I have a very good memory. The cat person. Why am I suddenly a cat person?
Because your portrait is a cat.
On your Discord profile.
I know. But it's so weird being called a cat person.
You may as well admit defeat now, right? A cross-examination would be useless.
Yo, Papa Reaper, what's up? Don't be ridiculous. A cross-examination is never useless.
Until now, think about it. Robots don't lie. This robot is both an important witness and valuable evidence at the same time.
Nevertheless, I will have my cross-examination.
I see you haven't changed. You never were one to worry about wasting time.
Oh my.
I love that Edgeworth is trying to imply that the robot is infallible when computers break literally all the time. And error, and you know what I mean?
Well, we need to prove that, don't we?
Yeah. But I'm just saying, like...
Yes.
computers are not infallible. Not even a little bit.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Very well. Even if it may be a waste of time, you may proceed, Mr. Wright. I'll show you both just how fruitful any cross-examination can be. Yeah, exactly, right? It's like, stick to the prosecuting, buddy. You don't know anything about computers.
Got us there.
I want to do a body slap at around 2 p.m. for my regular recharge.
Oh, jeez, yeah. Good luck. That fight's annoying.
Ew.
I'm doing good, though. I'm freaking tired as shit, though.
Yeah. I get that.
Yeah, I'm not at my best right now either.
Your regular recharge, what is that exactly?
I have to refill my battery or else I stop working. I go to the lab to do that.
So that recharge occurred around 2 p.m., around the time of the murder?
That's right. I go every day at 2 p.m. Just as I was about to charge up, Athena came in and hooked Mommy Midis.
Hugged her, huh? Which Edward took to mean stabbed her with a weapon. You said the two of them were talking before Miss Sykes hugged her mother. Is that right?
They were talking very loudly, but I couldn't tell what they were saying.
Couldn't tell, even though they were speaking so loudly?
I'm only allowed to listen to voices that are directed at me.
If it listened to every voice, it would be a little better than a mobile eavesdropper.
So, anybody walking around is just an eavesdropper? Like, that doesn't really make any sense. Well, that explains why some of Ponko's testimony is so vague.
It's a shame that our little friend wasn't listening in, however. We could have learned what they were talking about just before Dr. Sykes was killed. Now then, what happened after that?
And then Mommy made it go down. After that, I was recharging, so I don't know anything.
Hold it!
I don't want to delve too deeply here, but... Could you tell us how the victim appeared and acted at this moment?
Mommy was very surprised when she was hugged. I heard her heart pound.
Her heart?
Mr. Wright, have you forgotten about this document we found in the robotics lab? These robots have a heartbeat detection system.
Now that he mentions it, I do remember reading something like that there. They detect the presence of people by their sound of their heartbeats. But, wait a minute. That means... If Dr. Sykes really did die at this moment... Ponko, how was Dr. Sykes after she fell down? Could you still hear the sound of her heartbeat?
Let's see. The moment she fell, her heart was pounding. After that, I don't know. I started recharging just then.
Of all the unlucky timing, if you had heard anything after that, it could have possibly proved the hug wasn't actually the moment of the murder.
I am very sorry. I'm afraid I don't know. I'm very sorry.
The robot is designed to go into sleep mode automatically, so it can't be helped. But it does appear it detected an increased heart rate at the moment of the stabbing.
After Mommy Meredith's heart started pounding in surprise, she fell by the window. It was the round window on the workbench side of the room.
The workbench, huh? Ponko must be talking about that table to the right of where the giant robot is now. Is there something critical in Ponko's statement just now?
So
Your Honor, I believe
always...
this statement is critical. I'd like to add it. I'd like to add it to her testimony. Not necessarily. There's times
I
where
know.
there's multiple.
There's times where you don't.
Very well. Ponko, could you please add that statement to your testimony? That's a good little girl.
Aw.
Who's a good little girl? Who's a good little girl?
Guys, guys.
Hold it!
I forgot to have you read that line.
No. Mommy Meredith fell down near the round window on the workbench side of the room.
Let's see. There's 2 round windows in the robotics lab. Which one did you mean?
The one on the right, near the landing scroll. Hanging one. The hanging scroll was Mommy Meredith's prized possession.
Okay. In the pictures of the crime scene from 7 years ago, there's definitely a hanging scroll and a Japanese theater mask hanging on the workbench side wall. But is there some problem with this statement?
Yes, the windows are on the other wall. after I charged, I was cleaning the room, and Mr. Simon came in.
Hold it!
Prosecutor Blackwell? I wonder what he went there for.
Objection? I don't know. I don't know.
I guess I can't very well ask Ponko to speculate. So, what happened after Prosecutor Blackwell arrived?
There's no data after that point.
Hold it!
You don't remember what happened next? An error, huh? I wonder if...
No data after that point. I don't know anything after that.
The answer to that question is right here. According to the defense's theory, this photo shows when the robot was being taken apart.
Exactly, we can conclude that. Ponko's error was the result of her being dismantled.
Indeed. The bodies of these robots were designed to be controlled remotely by a separate computer.
Yes, that's basically what Miss Blackwell explained to us too. She said their hearts and memories are stored on a separate computer.
When the witness was taken apart, she lost the use of her body, but not her memories. That's how she is still able to give testimony about the events of that day.
Fascinating. It's as if she can be seriously wounded, but her soul still burns. There are a few parts of Ponko's testimony that are hard to interpret.
They just Soul
Edgeworth chose
Calibur
to
right there?
interpret hugged as stabbed. But I'd better try to iron out who did what, where, and to whom for myself. Hold on, Athena. I'm going to save you. Yeah. That's all the pictures in one friggin' clue.
Yeah.
Objection!
Mhm. Which is great.
Ponko, your statement may have just inspired a breakthrough.
I was hopeful. Hooray! I'm so happy.
Just to be sure, let's go over it again, okay? The victim fell near the window on the workbench side of the room. However, her body was discovered on the operating table. But the operating table and the workbench are on two different locations. Exactly,
Mhm.
Your Honor. We've just learned a new crucial fact. What could explain the two very different locations of the body? I'll tell you what.
The defendant, not the body, perhaps? Oh, wait, the defendant, that's the robot. My brain is dead, don't listen to me.
No,
The
the
defendant
defendant
is
is Athena.
Oh,
And she's a child at this point, so probably unlikely, so the victim was moved.
yeah, no, the victim moved.
An 11-year-old girl couldn't have moved the heavy body of an adult. So the only explanation is that the victim walked to the operating table herself. In other words, what Ponko observed near the workbench couldn't have possibly been the moment of the murder.
She
Whoa.
probably just
I am very relieved to hear that.
had indigestion or something. It's gotta be it.
Yeah. Glad to know that the murder wasn't committed in front of little Ponko here.
Oh my
It was
Yes.
committed in front of Athena!
Yeah, well, fuck Athena. I mean,
At this point, the judge just wants to adopt Pongo.
she was accused of murder. Like, we don't care about her.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yes.
Damn.
As we just heard in the testimony, Mrs. Sykes hugged her mother, nothing more.
Objection!
Let's see. Right. It's been 8 years, but you still are just as green as ever.
I think it's blue.
Green? But I can't recall ever seeing Mr. Wright in anything but a blue suit.
Is it 2 degrees?
Hey, blue's my favorite color, what can I say?
If the defendant couldn't move the body herself, she would have had it moved for her.
Moved for her, but Miss Sykes and Dr. Sykes were the only ones there.
I agree. Since this robot is equipped with a heartbeat detection system, it would have been aware of another person's presence if someone else had been there. We can therefore conclude that the defendant and the victim were the only ones present.
Then who do you suggest moved the body?
Don't you know it's in the nature of a robot to help people do things? Ms. Panko, allow me to ask you a question.
I'm actually Pongo, not Pongo.
I'm aware.
Damn it, Pongo! Say it with me! Pongo!
I believe you said you were cleaning after Dr. Sykes fell down. Did you happen to move something large onto the operating table?
Yes, I did. Athena asked me to. Oh, no.
Here we go.
Athena asked you to. And what did you move, little Ponko?
I don't know. Unless something has an ID tag, I can't tell what it is. Really? Not even a person? The freak?
Might not have been a person.
Sort of? It can be more than that, technically. If you're playing in co-op, they just respawn until the health bar disappears, basically.
Yeah.
It's very fucking annoying. Yeah, what's up, DK? Good to see you, dude. And Ellie, too. Hello.
You don't have to kill them both at the same time.
Yay, DK.
It's not that kind of fight. You're
Yep.
welcome. It's what we do.
An ID tag, you say?
Yes, a tag with a barcode on it. We robots scanned them to tell us what a thing is.
That paper in the lab did mention something about that. Hell yeah, it did. Recognizes people by scanning their spacesuit or uniform jacket ID tag, it said.
So it would appear that Ms. Panko here can't identify what it moved.
I'm going to tell you. My name is Pongo.
But we humans have the power to imagine what it was, do we not?
Edgeworth is being an asshole right now.
Yes.
Well, that's Edgeworth for you.
Keeps saying her name wrong and ignoring the correction. We do?
Well, I do at the very least. Ms. Panko, on the defendant's command, moved the body onto the operating table.
God! Ponko, did you really move Dr. Sykes' body? This is really important. Isn't there any way you could tell?
I don't know. Without an ID tag, I can't tell.
Give it up, right? If the victim's heart was stopped, the robot's detection system would be useless. Furthermore, Dr. Sykes usually wore her white coat while she was working. She kept the jacket with her ID tag on it draped over her chair in the robotics lab, and only wore it for special occasions. In other words, the victim wasn't wearing her ID tag at the time. From the robot's point of view, Her body was simply just another object.
So why do you think Athena moved the body to the table, Bessie?
I don't know. I don't have any current thoughts right now. I'm still sleepy.
Can't quite remember, but I think
I know
it
exactly
was.
why.
It has something to do with her, how she
Oh
thinks.
wait, I remember from last time because she believed she can fix her, like because the operating table is where they fix robots.
Exactly.
Mhm.
That's why she moved to there.
She had no understanding of the differences between human and robot anatomy. She knew that table fixed robots, so she was trying to fix her mom.
Yeah.
We are on an ad break right now. That's why we're just kind of riffing.
Okay.
At least we were on an ad break. It didn't say it came off, but I don't see it running now, so we should be good.
How dare you test my memory?
Objection!
But Ponko's is equipped with a facial recognition system. If she really did move the victim, it would have recognized the body as Dr. Sykes. But she didn't, so that means...
Objection!
A face can easily be covered with a piece of cloth, a mask, or anything else for that matter. With her facial features hidden, the robot wouldn't be able to tell it was Dr. Sykes.
He's right.
To summarize, Ms. Sykes stabbed her mother near the workbench, then using the robot. She moved the body to the table, where she removed the sword and was stained in blood.
Order! But if that's the case, then I have a question. Why did the defendant move the body onto the operating table in the first place? Exactly, isn't that the key?
You want a reason? Very well.
What? You can't possibly have an explanation.
Your emotions blind you to the truth. You could learn a lot from our robot friends. Makes you a robot expert. Calm and rational thought will open your eyes to the truth in front of you, Mr. Wright.
He is literally ignoring Ponko entirely. Calm and rational? How has Ponko been calm at any point during this?
Not
It's
at
a
all.
machine that hasn't been programmed to feel like that, yeah?
Yeah, but to just say, Ponko is constantly screaming and yelling and panicking. Yo, Shaman, what's up? Like, what robot are you talking about, Edgeworth? That's not Ponko.
Now then, do you remember the operating table's one special feature?
To operate?
Did I not post an announcement?
I think you did.
No, I did not. I had it copied and I didn't post it.
Someone else's notification. I just assumed it was yours.
I believe I read that the robots can be disassembled or assembled and disassembled there. Isn't that right?
That's right. And the defendant, who was just a child at the time. Hey, Shavan. The table was like a magic box that could make robots appear or disappear in seconds.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough.
No, that's Sakina. But in the end, my mom just put her on the operating table and fixed her in a flash. I was so impressed by what my mom did. I even asked her if she would put me on the table and fix me if I ever got hurt. It looked just like magic to me what she could do.
You can't possibly be suggesting.
This young, sheltered girl had a difficult time distinguishing robots from people.
But take a look at Ponko's arm. It was Miss Sykes who bandaged it up like that. She must have thought that machines heal in the same way that people do. What an adorable, naive mistake. That reminds me of my own grandchild.
Everything reminds you of your own
No way.
grandchild.
I refuse to believe it.
Ms. Sykes made a childish, naive, and cruel mistake.
Not cruel.
She thought that if a robot could be dismantled and vanish without a trace,
No.
Prosecutor Edgeworth, if you're about to claim what I think you are, I demand that you word it as delicately as you can.
Too far, Edward.
with all due respect, Your Honor, all I can do is present the truth as it stands. The reason the defendant moved the victim's body to the operating table.
Hold it!
Ugh. Yeah, that sounds terrible. No, don't say another word. Just stop.
Was to dismantle the evidence so that she could get away with her crime.
I want to slap him right now.
It's especially a bad argument anyway, when you're saying that she was so naive and silly and stupid about it that she thought that that would be a way to do it, but she's also apparently smart enough to try to dismantle and hide the crime in the first place. Like, those two things can't coexist. Either she's naive and silly and doesn't understand things, or she's this devious plotting murderer. Like, you can't be both at the same time.
Also, keep in mind, Edgeworth ain't playing for real, but he still has to try to give, Aura a show.
I mean,
He's aware of this.
That can't be true!
Well, if you make it sound like that, Phoenix.
Order! Order in the court! Order in the court, I say! Edgeworth, she was just a little kid. How could you say such horrible thing?
Horrible. Like I said, you're just as green as ever.
I played it back in the beta, but I haven't played it since it launched officially, really.
I came here today as a prosecutor to seek only the truth. No more, no less. My theory is simply the result of a rational consideration of every possibility.
Objection!
But dismantling isn't the table's only function. It can make repairs as well. It's conceivable that Miss Sykes moved her mother to the table in order to fix her.
I suppose that could be another way of interpreting it. But dismantle or repair, it doesn't matter either way. I think it does.
What do you mean?
After murdering her mother, Ms. Sykes may have come to her senses. Perhaps she did want to make it appear as if it had never happened. And that's why she tried to repair her mother. Yes, that's one possible explanation.
But
we mustn't forget the facts of this case. The victim was observed to fall down after being hugged by the defendant. And the body was moved per the defendant's command. These two facts that indicate the defendant's guilt, remain unchanged.
this just can't be true. Mr. Wright, do you have any evidence to refute the prosecution's claim? Evidence? Right. Let's see. I can't think of any. I'm afraid I don't have any evidence.
Since becoming chief prosecutor, I've learned that the truth isn't always pretty. Now accept the truth, Mr. Wright. Your subordinate murdered her own mother. Your Honor, the prosecution demands a verdict. The hostages have suffered enough.
What a terrible and tragic conclusion. If the defense has no counterargument, I see no need to further prolong this trial. Edgeworth's argument seems solid enough, but But there's no way Athena could ever have done anything like that. What do I do? There has to be something. But I can't think of a single thing.
I knew it.
Prosecutor Blackwell.
Yeah, he's back.
This is quite the farce you're conducting here. I could die from laughter. Prosecutor Blackwell? What are you talking about? What I'm talking about is that your argument is based on an entirely false premise.
Yo, Blackwell.
Go on, we're listening. Could this be the miracle I need? But what is Prosecutor Blackwell trying to pull here?
7 years. For 7 long years. This case has been on my mind. Not for an instant did I not think of it. I'm the one who killed my mentor, and I don't think you can alter that fact now. Your baldness. I will take it to the stand, and I won't take no for an answer.
Of course, Prosecutor Blackwell. Please, go ahead. It really is.
Such a good case. I went to the Cosmos Space Center with the intention of killing Dr. Sykes. But when I got to the robotics lab, I found Athena there instead. I would not be swayed from my purpose, so I waited for Dr. Sykes to return. And then I committed the act. How cathartic it was. Air forehead, your baldness. You gotta love the prosecutors.
But little Ponko here witnessed the victim falling. In other words...
Objection!
I don't need any of your other words, old man. I can guess what happened.
Which would be...
She fell. Means she fell. Nearly that. A mother and child fooling around. Perhaps she tripped. Not that it matters. When I entered the lab, there was no trace of Dr. Sykes to be seen. There was no dead body either, of course, meaning she must have left the room.
So the murder occurred after the time period Ponko described in her testimony.
You should hardly take stock in the words of a wind-up toy.
Objection!
Then how do you explain the fact that the defendant had the robot move something? Athena was always tinkering with robots on the operating table to amuse herself. And she always had Ponko move the heavy ones for her. That day was no different. Ponko moved a heavy robot for Athena.
Yo, Blackwell.
This is awful. What he's saying seems to make sense, and yet...
Objection!
Prosecutor Blackwell, are you trying even now to turn away from the truth? Don't you realize we could bring the dark age of the law to a close today?
Objection!
You expect too much from me. I'm just a murderer beyond redemption. Why don't you just let me go so I can settle down into hell?
It's fine, I'll accept you there, Blackwell.
Prosecutor Blackwell's execution is tomorrow. If the truth doesn't come out now, it's all over. Are you saying that the little girl and the robot had nothing to do with the murder?
That's right. So let's hear your verdict.
We did indeed, Jakari. It happens. How you doing today?
If we don't hurry, I might miss the ferry across the Styx.
Oh my god.
Speak of the devil.
Don't you dare, Judge. Don't forget I have hostages over here. And Simon, how long are you going to cover for her?
Miss Blackwell.
Forgive me, Aura. I never wanted you to do anything like this for me. But you agreed to this trial. If you have a counter-argument, then present your evidence. That's the rule of the courtroom. Isn't that right, Chief Prosecutor? Blackwell, you selfish.
How is he selfish?
He's selfless in this case, not selfish.
It's like the exact opposite.
He's singing from the perspective of ending the Dark Age.
Well, I suppose, yeah, sure. Well, to be frank, I don't like this, but it's my duty to make a decision. If no one has a counter-argument, I will announce my verdict. Is this really happening? Is it really gonna end just like it did 7 years ago?
I wanted to do it so bad. Even now, I want to fly out there and go save him.
No, I can't tell her. But how can I lie to Athena? If I can't prove Prosecutor Blackwell's innocence in this trial, I don't think Athena will ever forgive me. I can't let this happen. But I just don't have the evidence to counter Prosecutor Blackwell's testimony.
Start pressing, bitch.
Ping! Phoenix, ping! Athena!
Athena! What are you... Are you feeling okay?
I can hear it. I can hear the voice of his heart. He's hiding something.
If he really is, I could sure use Athena's help here. Her power might just be the thing to get us through this.
Objection!
Sykes don't know. No need for you to chime in here. Just accept that you're innocent.
Objection!
You don't get to decide that, Blackwell.
She's on trial. You think the people that are on trial aren't in the courtroom to
It's this, and if you haven't been paying attention, this is this is the most unorthodox as fuck trials that you'll ever see.
I mean, true, but hey, Rocky! Thank you for the raid, friend. How you doing? How was your stream? Welcome in, Raiders.
But that's kind of why we watch it.
You haven't been here before. My name is Shayla. I'm a variety streamer. Got my love, Desi Scorm, and my best friend Penny here, a dude over here. Playing some Apollo Justice. Sex and Blackwell is covering.
That's what it seems like, doesn't it?
I mean, Blackwell's not covering for Aura, but yeah. Welcome in, everybody, though. It's good to see you. I can't read. Suchi,
No,
welcome in. Zinx, lovely to see you all. Hope you guys had a great time. The Onion Lord, hello, hello. Appreciate you, Rocky. Hope you had an awesome stream. What is, I saw the game. It was, what is Until Then about?
Can I read now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. These past 7 years, it's just been so hard on me, you know.
What are you talking about?
Do you remember that horrible trial?
I see. Teenage Boy Simulator.
Please, you have to listen to me. He didn't kill her. He's heard her screaming that he didn't kill her. Excuse me. Even now, every time I stand in a courtroom, it comes back to haunt me. This guy haunts me too, Atina, I agree.
Him and his fake hair.
Not being hurt, no matter how hard you try. Feeling so helpless.
Is the full game out yet, or is it yet to be released?
Cutting people's stares. So scared that it feels like your chest is in a vice. I'm terrified of courtrooms. I want to run out of that door even now.
And yet, you found a way to keep your fears at bay and become a lawyer. Ah, I see, I see.
Thanks. That's because one day I came to realize that I had to fight. I couldn't give up.
Makes sense. That's what demos are for sure.
I exercised hard and I studied hard. I wanted to become the strongest lawyer I could be. This day has finally come. The day I've been looking forward to with all my heart. This is why I became a lawyer. This is why I studied psychology. It was all to save you from this false conviction.
But Miss Sykes, do you realize what it would mean? You are the accused, after all. If you prove Prosecutor Blackwell innocent, then...
The only thing that matters is the truth. It's my duty to find out what that truth is. Simon, please give me this chance. The chance to shake off this fear that's been with me for 7 years and to face the truth.
Tina's being so brave, confronting her past like this. This might really be the last chance to save them both. Hey, no worries, Rocky. Do what you gotta do. Prosecutor Blackwell, please testify one more time about the incident 7 years ago.
Fine. But your efforts will surely be in vain. For I am not a man who could be cut down easily.
Here we go, Simon. Let me hear the voice of your heart.
I went to the Cosmos Space Center with the intention of killing Dr. Sykes.
And he was very angry.
I was so pissed. But when I got to the robotics lab, I found Athena there instead.
He was
I was
happy.
happy to see her. And also still pissed. I would not be swayed from my purpose, so I waited for Dr. Sykes to return, very happily if I might add.
Chi-Man, hello, welcome in. How you doing?
And then I committed the act. Ah, how cathartic it was.
He
How
was happy.
joyful I felt. I played it to her chest. You have to have a little fun with it, right?
No matter how much you wanted to commit murder, you can't be happy about it constantly. I don't think so.
Oh, he is known as the Twisted Samurai. I guess this is the reason.
So what do you think here? Which comment should we pinpoint?
You know, all 3 of them are weird with his
Thank you.
happiness. Maybe this one, because he was suddenly happy because he saw Athena instead of Dr. Sykes in there. I don't know.
Why? And then we can also hit which is the emotions he's not feeling.
So happy on this one, you think?
I think so.
Got it!
Sure.
It's
Music's
weird
not-
either way.
We can't go wrong.
This feeling of happiness, even though the person you were looking for isn't there, you felt happy. Why is that?
Simple. When I was looking for Athena and hadn't found her yet, I grew worried. So when I saw her in the robotics lab, I was happily relieved. Merely that.
Well, we were right.
Just now you said you went to the Space Center to kill Dr. Sykes. But the first thing you did was look for her daughter instead?
I had no intention of harming Athena, so I wanted to confirm that she was safe first. It was just a part of my plan. Nothing contradictory about that.
Sure, buddy.
God. The second I find an inconsistency, he cuts it down.
Noise level is the discord in his heart, or in the person they're examining.
What he
Yeah.
said.
Simon knows the principles of analytical psychology. There's less noise now, but I don't see any instabilities we can latch onto.
I was afraid of that. What does it have to keep chipping away at him then, bit by bit? Could you update his testimony, Athena?
You got it, boss.
I went to this big center, blah blah blah.
Yeah, we already read that
Who
one.
gives a fuck?
This is new.
When I found Athena in the robotics lab, I was relieved.
That's new.
That's new. Yeah, we're
When she
we're with
did,
this one,
I
though.
plunged the katana in. I was so very sad. I stopped feeling joy and anger for some fucking reason.
Got it!
Not even you can falsify your emotions, Prosecutor Blackwell.
What?
When you said that you killed Dr. Sykes in your testimony, you felt sadness. Why would someone who had lain in wait to kill her be sad at her death?
Such an obvious attack. Yes, I felt sadness, but it wasn't for her. Love you too, Al. I felt sorrow for Athena and her circumstances.
God. He can't be talking about that, can he?
It was just a convenient subject for her research.
Dr. Sykes was so intent on her research, she forced her daughter to undergo experiments. My objective was to save Athena from an obsessive scientist who treated her own daughter like a research subject.
What?
I went to the psychology lab first. That's where I would usually find Athena playing. But that day was different. I heard someone crying in the robotics lab next door. Was Athena being subjected to yet another experiment? I thought as I went to see.
It looks like an ad break starting.
Oh, bummer.
Oh, it's not yet, though. It's starting in a minute. We can keep going for a little bit.
Okay.
Funny?
Oh, it's not started yet? Okay.
No.
Conveniently, Athena and her had cried herself to sleep, so all I had to do was wait and kill.
So that's why he was relieved when he saw Athena. But is this story really true? I'm not sure how much to believe.
Mr. Wright,
How are you doing, Athena? Still hanging in there? Hey, Kanky.
thank you. Hey,
We'll do that in a second. There's an ad break coming. We'll do it during that.
I'm a lot stronger than I look, boss. Now, take a look at this. The noise level actually increased. Because he's lying through his teeth.
It went up.
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen it do that before.
That's wording. Wording. Prosecutor Blackwell is lying somewhere in his testimony. As a matter of fact, he's fighting lie on top of lie in an attempt to make his claims sound more believable. He's trying even harder to suppress his true feelings, and that's what's causing this noise.
How in the world should I approach this? An evidence-based approach might work if I can find a contradiction. Otherwise, I should look for inconsistency in his emotions. Okay, there they go. Ad break time.
Pokey
Let's do Pokey Dad jokes, yeah. Common. Uncommon.
Uncommon. Single rare, very nice. Where's Kanki? Kanki, do your Pokédex joke. Oh, you did it 3 hours ago. Okay, what did you get?
My mom has got a request of me. I'll be right back. Just
Okay.
taking out
Okay.
trash.
Yeah, apparently there was like a basically perfect thumbnail for this, except for the fact that there was a timer above my face on the caption. Meowting sent it to me. This is amusing. Oh. Did it show like that in Discord too? No, it showed... Wait, why is it still showing chained together on that one? That's weird.
Is it? I don't look.
Oh wait, no, it's not chained together. It's just a different. It's a different one. Yeah, Meowthing's just got a better. Look, I'll just show you. This is the thing he saw. He sent it to me.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Alright, ad break's done. The Prinny is not here though. Apparently he got summoned. Yeah, we're still waiting on Prinny. He had to go AFK for a minute. Hey, Wild Snubble has appeared though. You can catch that Pokemon.
Let me try to catch it from the ceiling.
Yeah, there's a weekly or whatever quest for it. The fuck is happening?
What do you mean?
My stupid ass. I'm just trying to scroll on a friggin' thing to look at the damn whatever the fuck it's called, the module for Poke Daily. And when I was scrolling, all of a sudden it zoomed, as if I was well, holding control,
Zooming?
which I was not.
I don't know.
Yeah, you get a Bailey for attempting 30 catches. I've only done 10 apparently because I keep ignoring it.
Yay, I got you gifts.
And Bayleaf is one of those mons that I do not have, so I really should throw more balls at Pokemons.
Yeah, I should throw more balls at them.
Jeez, I have so many freaking gifts to give out. It's ridiculous. Because it never lets me do it. Holy shit.
Did you do it twice? Sheesh.
3 times before it stopped letting me.
Damn.
Jeez, so apparently there's been 12 shinies captured in my streams, which is crazy. And I got 2 of them.
And I got 0 of them.
Yeah, looks like I caught a shiny Woobat and Finneon here. Mooney caught a shiny Miss Magius. Kinky got a shiny Smeargle. Oh, I actually caught a shiny Lucario too. I forgot about that. It was just listed later. Kinky caught a shiny Jellicent. Andy got a shiny Onyx Fanny with a shiny Ditto. Big Papa Darth Cerberus caught a shiny Mischievous. Prinny got a shiny Tortuga. Fanny also got a Gloom. And Pretty got a Gloom.
All of you lucky peeps.
Yeah, I'm just glad I was able to get some of those gifts out. That cuts into my supply a little bit. I'm down to 6 now that I still gotta give away. You know, I only need 22 more Pokemon from the spawnable Pokemon in order to finish my
Pokédex.
well, yeah, but to finish it in order to get to be able to reset it and get a thing that increases shiny chance.
I don't need many, but they haven't been spawning really. Actually, I need quite a bit. $23 more. Oh, that's not that bad.
That can't be real.
Thank you, everybody, for your patience.
Welcome back.
Sorry for the delay.
Nah, you're
That's
good.
super.
There are no flaws in my testimony, and his baldness is prepared to give his verdict. Give up on this lost cause, and let the law free me of these chains already.
Objection!
I don't think so. Not while I'm around. Now, contradictory testimony or inconsistent emotions. Which should I tackle first?
Emotions. We don't really have evidence, I think, of the other things.
Hmm. Okay, let's look for inconsistent emotions. There's no downside to looking for inconsistent emotions either, because you can present the wrong emotion every single time and not get any penalties. Presenting wrong evidence, however.
And you can find a lot of fruits in inconsistent emotions. But if you want to try looking for a contradictory statement instead, just let me know. I can easily switch over. Why is she suddenly experiencing these? They weren't here before.
The confusion wasn't there.
Yeah.
He acts as if he's never heard crying before.
And this is no longer happiness.
Or sadness.
Yeah.
Yeah, his emotions are all over the place now, aren't they?
They are.
Almost as if he's trying to manipulate
Spread them, yeah, and manipulate
the
them.
emotions here. 'Cause he understands how her ability works.
So is that why he sent
That's a
us all
different
over the
one.
place to confuse us?
These are all different lines, actually.
Okay, alright. I hurried over and opened the door to the robotics lab.
Yeah, no, you got
I heard her
that
crying, blah blah blah.
one.
But before I could lead Athena out of there, curse my luck, Dr. Sykes came in. I was gonna kidnap this little girl. I refused to hand Athena over, so I had no choice but to kill my mentor.
That contradicts with what you said that you went there precisely to kill her.
Mm-hmm.
So what are we thinking here?
I mean, the last one is a huge contradiction to what he said previously.
It's not a
Alright.
contradiction to emotion, though, necessarily.
I mean, yeah, fair enough.
Because those emotions kind of make sense. He was mad at... He was supposedly mad at Athena's mom, and he was sad because he had to kill her because of...
Okay, so not this one.
But why is he angry now?
He, as I said, he's angry because of the shit that the mother was doing to Athena.
Okay, not this one either.
That's
And
the
plus-
story he's telling.
Well, yeah, but also plus, like, how are you killing somebody not in anger? Like, that's not really contradictory. Feeling anger and the act of murdering somebody.
Go back to the second one. Let's see. How was he shocked?
I don't know. Want to press it and see?
Yes, I want to see.
Got it.
How odd. Why would you register surprise at opening the door to the lab?
Alright, fine, I'll explain if I must.
Please
What
do.
surprised me was Ponko. That toy figure attacked me. Dr. Sykes knew full well of my plan to rescue Athena. But she couldn't stand guard over her daughter 24 hours a day.
So Dr. Sykes had Ponko do it?
That's right. She ordered Ponko to forcibly remove me on sight. So I slashed Ponko up with a katana that was there in the lab. That rickety old puppet wasn't worthy of that fine blade.
So he came here to kill Athena's mom, but he didn't have a weapon on his way here?
Alright. He's
Yeah,
like
but the
Snake,
puppet
you know?
is
He's
on-
just gonna go in naked and procure his weapons on sight.
Yeah. Mr. Wright, it's happening again. There's even more noise now. That's a lot of noise.
It's at 100% now. What's going on here?
It's like we never did anything.
Right.
Whenever we find an opening, he covers it up with lies. We'll never get rid of the noise at this rate.
It's pretty hard to keep telling coherent lies like that. His mind and will really are sharp as a strong katana. Alright, what should I tackle first this time?
I mean, so I think going for his emotions seems to be pushing us in a corner. But do we even have any evidence to present?
Well, we're gonna see his testimony, right? So let's see if what he's saying contradicts anything.
In some way, okay.
So maybe now we have a new insight.
I think there might be
Yeah.
an inconsistency in Prosecutor Blackwell's testimony.
All right, let's give it a thorough check then.
That's a different line.
With a feeling of dread, I opened the robotics lab door just then.
I don't have the option to press at all, it's just present, so...
Got it. Ponko attacked me. I retaliated by cutting it into pieces. But before I could lead Athena out of there, curse my luck, Dr. Sykes came in. I refused to hand Athena over, so I had no choice but to kill my mentor.
Hmm.
So,
Is there not a
Let's
rule
look
of
at the-
robotics that doesn't allow the
Wait.
robot to attack
The
somebody?
katana. The katana. Wait. No, never
No, it
mind.
doesn't mention one.
Not
No,
there.
Oh. Hmm. Hmm. Can we look at the katana? Which we have. The victim's blood was found only on the blade. What do you mean only on the blade?
Just that it wasn't on like the handle or hilts of the blade of the weapon.
Oh, that's what you mean. Okay. Hmm. Hmm. What is the third thing from this testimony?
Can we look at the picture where he stabbed again? Or the supposed after he did the deed?
That one?
Yeah, that one.
Is that before or after he killed Dr. Psych?
After,
It's supposed to
supposedly,
be
'cause there's blood on
after.
the blade, so.
Yeah, but there's only Pongo's cut hand. Hmm.
Yeah, this isn't a picture of the body. The body's over in the corner.
Yeah. I
Wait a
suppose.
minute.
But
Was Punko broken at this point?
Yeah, because he literally said the very first thing he did was cut
Okay,
the robot
I
into
meant,
pieces.
okay, sorry. When Punko attacked him, isn't Punko supposed to be broken? Not in pieces, but like, that's why Athena wrapped it up, right? Because it was malfunctioning?
I have another
No.
question. Wait, I have another question. If Pongo was broken before the murder, why is there blood on Pongo's?
There was.
Yeah,
Like it was done after the murder when the blade was bloody,
unless it's not blood. It's whatever oil or whatever you want to call it.
which is red in color. That seems suspicious.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, take care, DK. So maybe present that evidence here because
Catch this!
Blade couldn't
it seems
possibly have
like-
blood on it if he killed her after.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm thinking.
A wild Magnes appeared. Catch it if you want to, or at least throw a ball at it, because there's a quest for doing so. Was it catch attempts or catch shiz? I forgot.
With my luck, I'm gonna catch it.
I didn't even look. Let me find out.
But yeah, I want that inconsistency explained to me.
Attempt catches, not miss.
Okay, good.
That's if you want a bay leaf.
Okay, good.
Why wouldn't you? Unless,
Yeah,
of
that
course, you
seems to
don't
be
believe-
a contradictory because if we look at that,
Yeah.
I mean, Punko attacked. If he cut the robot into pieces now, how did blood get on the robot arm?
Exactly, that's what I asked.
Mm,
So that's my.
I don't know
Two
that this
cents.
is the thing to present evidence on, but that does make sense too.
We could always. Well, can we save it right now?
Yeah, I
I
could
think
say.
we can.
That way we have a little more confidence.
Yeah, we have liquor card.
Objection!
Yep. that
There
did
we
it.
go.
I was right.
Very good.
Compounding lies with more lies is never the answer, Prosecutor Blackwell. Take a look at this photo. That's the photo of the supposed moment of the murder, isn't it?
How many more times must I see that which damned me for my sin?
The ironic thing is, I think this picture is actually going to be your savior now. Jackson! What's up,
I was supposed to
dude?
do that. Now I'll do it better. I promised Jackson last time.
Go on.
So let's see. Jackson! Hello there.
I'm doing good, bro. How you doing? See the blood stain at the end of Ponko's arm where it was severed with a katana? I hope you aren't claiming that it's the robot's blood, Mr. Wright. Of course I'm not. Why would you think that? No, most likely the blood was transferred there from the bloody katana. The katana already had blood on it, so then it must have been the victim's blood? That's right. But if that's the case, we found a glaring inconsistency.
Ugh, creepy.
I saw your tweet about it.
I got people sleeping in my house, so no, it's not my turn. I won't be able to hold a candle to them. But imagine that I did, and that it was, not as good as the other two. But it was still pretty darn solid. I already push it with the voices that I'm doing already. But I don't want to go full on yell, you know what I mean?
You said in your testimony you cut up Ponko and then you killed Dr. Sykes. But in spite of that, the victim's blood is already on Ponko's arm in this picture. What? But that couldn't be. Exactly. In order for the blood to have transferred from the sword to Ponko's arm, the victim must have been stabbed first before the robot was slashed. In other words, Prosecutor Blackwell, your entire testimony is nothing but one giant ball of lies.
Yeah.
Now tell the court the truth, Prosecutor Blackwell, now!
You have no idea what you're doing.
His voice, there's so much discord. I'm hearing not just one or two, but a bunch of rampaging emotions here. It's hard to describe. It's like a violent whirlpool or something.
Phoenix Wright, you will pay for this. Never have I been forced to reveal so much, but the rest I'll take to my grave.
You wish.
Prosecutor Blackwell, you are on the witness stand. You are obligated to tell the truth.
Thank you, Jax.
Isn't that the rule of the courtroom?
All of these complex emotions,
You're okay from that vicious spider attack.
they seem to be flowing from one source. I think whatever he really saw that day is what's causing these feelings. I mean, obviously.
That can't be right.
Holy. Holy Discord! Holy shit!
I saw it. That terrible scene.
Oh, the colors!
But before I could lead Athena out of there, curse my luck, Dr. Sykes came in. I had no choice, I killed her.
We've never seen that before. What the hell? We can do nothing here. What the hell? Have my bets on Athena. I don't know.
Shelob.
I mean, on the one hand, that would be terrifying. On the other hand, you might be able to, like, If you survive it anyway, you get, sell that to scientists to study.
Wow.
But remember, you have to preserve the specimen.
You think a spider that big, Jax, is gonna be able to kill it?
I mean,
Not
he's
even
still
sure if
bigger in
Ghostbusters
the
could kill it.
games.
You just gotta abandon the house. That's that spider's house now.
Feeding the
Yeah, my-
bastard nachos. I think
My choice would be a tuna. All the strong emotions.
Huh?
I said my choice would be a Tina. I might be wrong, but I think it's a Tina.
I'm thinking it's this.
Oh, why so?
Because the body was already there.
something's supposed to be there.
Oh, she was and he went in and saw that thing. That's a good idea.
Yeah, he saw Athena crying and the mother dead on the table. Thinking she's
With the
crying
robot
'cause-
next to the
Mhm.
table, which makes it a little bit soft. Now that I think about it.
No, I guess it's not that.
Um,
The root cause of all these emotions is this.
I'm actually not getting any particularly big rating there, Mr. Wright.
I guess that's not it then. What
Oopsies.
could have caused Blackwell to react with all these emotions at once?
I'm still sticking with Tina then.
Oh my god, I should have skipped the fucking text so I could press go. I guess it is Athena.
Huh, see?
When you opened the
Right,
door and
super.
saw Athena, you became overwhelmed by your emotions. Isn't that right, prosecutor?
You should know better. And though it's pathetic, I admit I'm terrified to speak of it.
You seem like you're terrified.
Prosecutor Blackwell, Miss Sykes is innocent. I will always believe that with all my heart. Now, can't you find it within yourself to believe in me too?
Athena is innocent, huh? Can you honestly say you believe that to be true? Right, Dono?
I give you my word. Now tell me what you really saw when you opened that door.
Curse you, Phoenix Wright.
Can we get the truth now, please? We're dying to know here.
You can't handle the truth.
Yes, we can.
It was a tragedy. One I'll never forget. When I arrived at the lab, Dr. Sykes was already dead. She was lying on the operating table, while the bloody katana lay on the floor.
So we were both right. You were just one step ahead.
And standing between the two, covered in blood, was Athena.
Oh my god.
She smiled, with a far-off look in her eyes, as she sweetly said,
Oh my god.
"It's really creepy, didn't they?"
Something's wrong with Mom, so I'm taking her apart to fix her. Holy shit. I don't have a good feeling about this.
That's what I saw. And now you have it. The truth that you so desperately wanted.
Holy. That's great.
No! Prosecutor Blackwell finally tells the truth, and this is what it is? It's beyond devastating.
I tried to take my mother apart. I... No! No! That's just great. So it was me. I'm the one who killed my mother.
Athena! Oh, yeah, you're right. We're on an ad break. I'll be back. I'm going to the restroom real quick. Actually, you know what? I want to take my cup with me and refill my drink too, because this is empty. Oh, here I got it.
Okay. And here I was acting my heart out, but Ad said no.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. This, I am very worried about it, Tina. Like, what kind of an explanation can there be to this?
I'm sorry, what was your question?
I'm just talking to myself. What kind of explanation could there be to this happening?
Hmm. What still makes her innocent after hearing
Yeah.
all that? That's a tough pill to swallow, but looks can be deceiving. We didn't see what happened before.
Alright, and we are back from ads.
No.
Was this line read?
No.
No.
As I said, right. The truth isn't always pretty. Murder disassembly on an operating table. A scientist using her daughter as a guinea pig. Sadly, it appears that my theory was correct after all.
Objection!
It's true that Athena didn't like her mother's research, but you dare cast aspersions on my mentor by claiming Athena was used in such a manner? Dr. Sykes could be awkward with people, but she loved her daughter with all her heart.
She loved me?
Your mother hated to see you suffer because you could hear the voices of people's hearts. She wanted to set you free of your pain. She worked tirelessly on her research. Corn, do you remember those headphones you hated so much?
Yes, my head hurt every time I wore them.
No, Athena. It's just the opposite. They emitted sound waves to nullify emotional input from the voices of people around you. Your power was much stronger then than it is now. And those headphones were what enabled you to carry on with everyday life.
No, that can't be true. Then why? Why would I have done something like that? Somebody who loved me so much.
Her love for you was real. That I can guarantee. That's why I knew that what happened had to be some kind of mistake. I couldn't let you be punished for it. So you took the blame yourself. You and your mentor are more alike than you know. Ponko was a witness, so I put it in the case, held Athena close, and vacated the lab. I threw Ponko away in the boarding lounge trash chute and hid the case in the Space Center grounds.
It would seem like we now have all of the facts of this
Hold
case.
I fart on your grave.
No, not yet. It can't end like this.
Objection!
Do not disgrace yourself, Mr. Wright. The truth has been revealed. Or are you the type of man to turn your back to things that disagree with you?
I'm not. But this... I can't give up now. I have to say something. Anything. Even if it's a bluff. I've always managed to pull through that way in the past. I have to make it work. The defense is, prepared to present evidence.
Are we? Mr. Wright,
It seems pretty over,
yes,
doesn't
Athena?
it's okay. You can stop now. I don't want you or anyone else to suffer any longer, for my sake.
Athena, what are you saying?
I killed my mother. That's the truth. It's just like Prosecutor Edward said. We have to face it, no matter how much it hurts. I admit my guilt. But could I please be granted just one chance to tell everyone what I recall?
Yeah, I don't like that fight either.
it? It appears Miss Sykes is much braver than you, Mr. Wright. What say you, Your Honor? In light of her courage, will the court give Miss Sykes this opportunity to confess?
Very well. Then if you would, please take the stand, Miss Sykes.
Thank you for letting me do this, Prosecutor Edgeworth. And thank you, Mr. Wright and Prosecutor Blackwell, for letting the truth be known. And now we can finally move forward, and everyone's suffering can come to an end.
Athena.
Prosecutor Blackwell will be cleared, and the dark age of the law can come to an end. Yes. Admit your guilt and bring everything to its conclusion.
I mean, I completely understand that, but... I mean, let's be real here. I know there's a lot of people out there that try to dictate how you're allowed to play Elden Ring and say you can't use certain abilities, you can't use certain spells, you can't use summons, but it's your game. Play it how you want to play it. Have fun. Don't suffer and make it a bad experience for yourself just for the sake of other people's fucking bullshit takes on how to play the fucking game. If you need help, fucking summon. At the very least, use the summons that are provided in the game. If you want to solo it, that's still soloing. It's a mechanic that the game provides in order to play the game. You don't have to not use mechanics that the game provides you.
Yeah, sleeping pots are a good idea.
And that's an idea
Sleep,
too.
they're
Yeah.
very susceptible to sleep attacks.
Because
Like,
yeah,
if
if
you
knock
have an attack-
one of them
they'll
out, put it
try
to
the
sleep,
Saint
then you can
Trina
fight one at a
sword.
time. Mm-hmm. The Saint Trina sword is in the DLC, I think.
No,
Isn't it?
no, not the OG one. The one you find in Caelid, but it's by the Guts Grit sword.
Huh.
It's in a ruins.
Sleep pots are like the fire pots that you could throw at enemies that burn them, but it puts them to sleep instead. And it's like
You know
one
those-
or two of those will just knock it out completely. It's out of the fight. You can just focus on one of them at a time.
Like
you're not
those
fighting
cracked
both.
pots you find. You use crafting to put like different kind of like things in them, like fire pots or poison or rot.
Yeah, I know, right, Ellie? I wish it was that easy.
Mm-hmm. Well, now's a good time to get started. Cake. I still have birthday cake.
You
Not much
still
left,
have
though.
birthday cake?
Not
Damn.
much. Well, my stepdad doesn't eat it, and my mom's trying to not eat sweets. So it's just me eating it.
I understand.
You read this line, right?
Yes. And then, if you're opposed to summons, you also don't have to use the mimic. You could use the jellyfish, or something, just to give yourself just a little bit of pressure off, you know?
Nice. Good job, Jackson.
I killed my mother. My memory is still a little hazy, but there's no question I remember it. I remember the weight of the weapon in my hands, and the feeling of it stabbing in deep. And I remember the warmth of her blood as it flowed down the handle onto my fingers.
That's a contradiction.
Yep.
Never happened. Literally never happened.
Yeah, because the blade is not. It's only the
Victim's
blade.
blood
is
is found only on the blade.
Yeah.
That's why they worded it that way.
Good morning,
Yeah.
Ox. How's it going, dude?
Hello, hello.
Your Honor, please find me guilty.
I dare say, these are all memories that have no one but the murderer would have.
I see. Thank you for your confession. I believe this trial has gone on long enough. But before we conclude, does anyone have any counter-arguments?
Yes, we do, Your Honor.
100%.
Objection!
There's gotta be one more person.
I do, Your Honor. Mr. Wright.
But, Mr. Wright, why?
Because it's bullshit.
I killed her. I remember it now. You remember wrong. Any counter-arguments now is pointless.
Objection!
Counter-argument.
Don't tell me you've forgotten one of the basic tenets of lawyering. Always believe in the client to the bitter end. Athena, you are not a murderer.
Objection!
You're just somebody who beats up police. I said that you never change, but could you have actually regressed in these 8 years? I won't stand for your childish emotionalism getting in the way of the truth.
Emotionalism? Don't lecture me on matters of the heart, Edgeworth. Because I can see straight into a person's soul.
I say, with how dilapidated the whole courtroom is right now, with them constantly, like, hitting the tables and everything, they're going to wreck the whole place even more.
Small babies, Jesus.
I did a little research. I looked into those special cyclops you mentioned, Mr. Nick. Athena isn't trying to keep anything from you on purpose. For some reason, part of her heart and her memories are sealed off, even from herself. That's a lot of locks.
There's still a chance.
What?
Somewhere
And they're
deep in
black.
Athena's heart, there might still be a memory that not even she knows about yet. Oh, absolutely, Ellie. It might be like looking for a grain of sand somewhere in the cosmos, but still, that memory might contain a new fact we can prove her innocence. I hope for everyone's sake you're not just bluffing, Mr. Wright.
Okay,
Now
okay,
then,
okay.
is there or is there not a problem with Miss Sykes' confession?
My memory is still a little hazy, but there's no question I remember it. I remember the weight of the weapon in my hands, and the feeling of it stabbing in deep. And I remember the warmth of her blood as it flowed down the handle onto my fingers.
There's definitely something wrong with her memory of the events. I can just tell. If there's a problem with her confession, please prove it to this court now.
Katana time.
Take that!
Don't know why I went that direction for it. Isn't that the katana the defendant used to kill the victim, Mr. Wright? I respectfully and vehemently disagree, Your Honor.
But I remember it. I remember holding the weapon and getting blood on my fingers.
Did they not turn the music off this time?
Nope. That's exactly my point. If blood really did get on your fingers while you were holding it, there should be blood on the handle. But please focus on the handle of this sword. There's not a trace of blood on it. And therefore, this is clearly a contradiction of the facts.
You're right.
Oh my!
Objection!
The defendant must simply confused a portion of her memories.
Same though.
Yep, I'd buy it too. She mentioned it was hazy to begin with, and we can't mull over every minor detail.
Objection!
But she also said there's no question I remember it, a fact we can't ignore.
In that case, why don't you explain what this contradiction with her memories means?
Gladly. Just give me a second to think of something. I want to say Athena didn't stab anyone. But she said it herself that she remembers the feeling of committing the acts. Think, Phoenix. Think. What could the contradiction with Athena's memories mean?
Huh. She used a different weapon, but if she did, what kind of weapon did she use? And we don't have proof that she used a different weapon, do we?
What else in the evidence, the court
I
record?
mean, we have a knife, but that was from the previous case of how.
Yeah, the knife. That was
Yeah.
used to put the kill Clay Terran.
Yeah. That's the only other weapon we have on hand.
Unless it was the operating table itself.
But the knife doesn't have blood on its handle either.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. Was the blood wiped off on the Punko's, what do you call them? I keep forgetting the word. If it was wiped off. I don't know. It's so confusing.
Well,
On the bandages.
what
that's it.
seems more correct if we assume the blood was wiped off the weapon, or if the defendant used a different weapon?
I don't think she had time to wipe. If if someone killed someone, I don't think they have time.
You're
to wipe the
assuming
blood
that
when someone else
Athena was the
something.
one who wiped the blood off.
Even if the blood was wiped off, though, they could have detected that, as we know from previous cases, with certain...
Or with luminol, yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, are you saying that if the blood was wiped off, it was because Blacko came in, he saw it, and he wiped the blood off for her, and then
Could
he
be.
took the sword, the katana, from her to make it seem like he was the killer?
Does that seem like it's
That's-
gonna prove her innocent, though?
No,
That
but
was what he was originally claiming.
yeah, but it fits with the photo and then the blood on the bandages of the robot and stuff.
Yes. But we're also, like Shay said, trying to prove her innocence here.
Yeah. But that's the thing. If we choose that she used a different
I don't
weapon,
know.
what is the
I kind of
weapon?
don't like his statement here and where they're going to go with this, but
Because we have nothing to go off of for a different weapon.
alright, are we ready to make a decision?
That's why I think it's the wiped off option.
I mean, I saved it, so if it's not, we can just reload.
Yeah.
Right, of course.
Alright, oh. I don't think that was the right one.
I don't think it was either, but it's funny to see the wrong answers too.
The blood was wiped off the handle. Uh-oh, I got the treatment.
I shouldn't have to explain the implications of your own argument to you, right? But
No, because I already did.
all your claims suggest is that Ms. Sykes wiped the blood off herself after the fact.
I knew that.
I know that bluffing your way through things is your calling card. But your credibility phoned just now and told me to tell you to put a sock in it.
I mean, I did try to
then
argue
where's
against this
another
one.
web- Yes, Daddy. Excuse me.
Yes, Daddy.
I'm sorry. Phoenix,
Daddy Edgeworth.
what just happened?
That's what he said.
You cover your eyes and ears, kids.
Okay,
Things
then
are
my
about
question
to get
then,
messy.
what is the weapon?
Miss Sykes said the blood flowed down the handle, but the katana's handle is spotless. So, doesn't it follow that the defendant must have used a weapon other than the katana?
What are you up to this time?
This is it. This time I found just the thing to end Athena's nightmare for good.
What is the weapon?
The weapon that took Dr. Sykes' life was the katana, that much is for sure. So if I could possibly show that Athena didn't use the katana, it could help me prove her innocent. A different weapon, you say? What weapon would that be exactly? Right, of course he would ask that.
I mean, of course.
I can see you're floundering, Mr. Wright. Did you speak without thinking again, as always?
Yes, Daddy.
How does he do that? But I can't back down now. Not here. Not now. That's right, I did. Because it's so obvious, doesn't require any thought.
Okay.
What did you say?
Okay, so maybe that was an exaggeration, but there has to be something. Was there some other bladed weapon in the robotics lab that day? Maybe there's something in one of the crime scene photos. Oh, wait a minute, there is something! There's a high probability that that was in the lab. I don't have that particular weapon here in the evidence right now, but I do have a piece of evidence just like it. Other than the katana, this is another blade that may have been at the crime scene.
So,
Take
I
that!
was thinking about the right weapon, but I still don't think it is.
Yeah, but there was a medical kit, and the medical kit includes this knife.
Hmm.
But again, there's no blood on it, though, on the hand.
This isn't the same one. This is
isn't
the
the
one
same
from the
knife.
previous case. This is the one that murdered Clay. We're using this as an example of another blade that could have been in the room.
Right.
Yeah, that's a major bluff. Let's see where it
Which is what the judge's reaction is.
But that's the murder weapon in the Clay Terran case. Yes, this is the knife that took Mr. Terran's life. But there must have been a knife just like this at the scene 7 years ago as well. Toolkits containing utility knives like this are ones issued by the Space Center, or ones issued to Space Center employees. And a robotics lab especially would naturally have one of these around.
Objection!
But besides the katana, no other bladed weapon was found at the site. Somebody disposed of it then. It was in the investigation report, if you didn't know.
Objection!
Of course I knew that, once you told me just now.
Then here's something else you already knew. There was a toolkit at the scene, but it didn't contain any blades. Here is a photo of its contents.
And considering those things always include a blade, isn't that a little bit suspicious that there wasn't one there?
Mm-hmm.
And there's an empty spot literally right there.
Right, and it spells out the they're actually in a different order, because if they were in the right order, it would spell out the Galaga or whatever.
The name of the space center.
The Space Center, yeah.
You're right. I don't see any kind of bladed tool. Fine. But isn't there something odd about the design of these handles?
Therefore, there was no other bladed weapon in the room.
Objection!
I disagree. This toolkit contained a knife.
And what proof do you have of that?
Don't tell me your eye for art is failing you too, Mr. Edgeworth.
You are the last person in the world who should be criticizing my aesthetic sense.
Now, he's simply watching out for your ocular health. Please proceed, Mr. Wright. Notice that the handles of these tools have a sort of design on them. Ah, I see that they do, but what significance do they have? Does that have? It's clear that one of the tools is missing from this kit. If we rearrange the tools into a specific pattern, we might be able to tell which part of the overall design is missing.
Is that the theory your pitiful sense of aesthetics help you come up with?
Edgeworth, just let it go, man.
Show the court then, if you would. What pattern or design would we see if you were to rearrange the tools?
F1.
Take that!
Got it.
And what design is this supposed to represent? The GAXA logo, Your Honor. It's on all of the Space Center's documents and pamphlets. As you're aware, GAXA is the program that operates the Cosmos Space Center.
Look at how brightly the GAXA logo shines in the sunlight above the entranceway. I really dig the stars and rocket motif it's going on. It's got going.
GAXA, huh? Isn't that the new name of the Federal Space R&D program? Ah, I think I see it now, but... Yes, with just the tools shown in this photo. The red A part of the logo is missing. And this is where the murder weapon from the Terran case comes into play. If we were to place the utility knife in the open slot... it would complete the GAXA logo. So it would. Then that means... Admit it, Mr. Edgeworth. My aesthetic sense is keener than yours. And while you're at it, admit that the weapon Mr. Sykes used could have been this one.
You need to let it go too, right?
Order! Order in the court! Miss Sykes confessed to having a memory of stabbing the victim. Admittedly, Miss Sykes most likely did stab someone, using the utility knife. However, the weapon used to kill Dr. Sykes was the katana. No, I did not, Genki. Therefore, the act of stabbing Miss Sykes remembers couldn't be that of Dr. Sykes.
Very well. Let's suppose for a minute that Ms. Sykes did use the utility knife. Tell me, how does that change anything?
Come again?
What if the katana was only being used as a decoy to conceal the true murder weapon? What if the real murder weapon that took the victim's life was actually the utility knife?
Yeah, because, you know, a child who can't understand the difference between a human and a robot can totally think about trying to cover it up with a different weapon. Don't be ridiculous. Or are you changing the premise of your entire argument? Interesting, Kinky.
I'm merely offering a hypothetical situation derived from your logic. Miss Sykes could have put blood on the katana to make it look like the murder weapon. and then concealed the knife on her personage until Blackquill carried her away.
That does clear up the contradiction between Miss Sykes' memories and the evidence.
If, in fact, the murder weapon is a utility knife, then fate has dealt you a cruel hand.
Ad break. Yeah, I don't know. That's interesting, I guess. I don't know that I care. I've lost interest in that game in general, so I'm not really giving a shit about a fucking movie based on it. So yeah. 30 seconds left, approximately. Friggin' ad breaks, man.
Yeah.
Uh, 10 seconds. Shavan's back. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and ad break is over.
Well, you have just proven the knife's existence to the rest of us with your own logic.
Objection!
The prosecution is attempting to lead the court.
Objection!
You're the one attempting to lead the court, Mr. Wright. By forcing us to forget the facts of this case. Need I remind you that there were only 2 people in the lab at the time of the murder?
And I wonder why that was. Maybe the murder happened previously and the actual killer was in the room with Athena?
And that the defendant herself recalls stabbing someone with her own hands?
No.
It matters not whether the murder weapon was a katana or a utility knife.
The wild Walrein has appeared, A tier Pokemon.
As long as we know that the victim and the defendant were the only ones there. You cannot escape the fact that it was Athena Sykes who killed her own mother.
I don't believe it. Why? Why does this keep happening? Every time I find a contradiction, it vanishes and the suspicion keeps coming back. It's almost as if...
Now you're finally starting to get it. Your contradictions keep vanishing because the charge is true. And the suspicion keeps coming back to the defendant because that's where it belongs. Phoenix Wright, when will you open your eyes and accept the truth?
Yeah!
Dramatic a bit much?
I don't want to believe it. It can't be true. But what if... Mr. Wright, you fought a good fight. I think you've done all you can do. Is giving up really the only option? No. Snap out of it, Phoenix. What's the matter with you, giving into doubt? I can't look back. Forward is the only way to go. No, Your Honor, not yet. It isn't over yet.
Right.
I can't lose sight of what's important. I believe in Athena, and I'll always believe in her. To the very end. As a defense lawyer never gives up on his client. I have to pick myself up and stand firm. Make that brain of yours work, Phoenix. If I don't see a way, I'll just have to go back and look for one. Time to rethink this case. Thoroughly.
Here we go.
I concede the fact that Athena must have stabbed someone with a utility knife. This must have been what Ponko witnessed as Athena's hug. But Prosecutor Blackwell didn't see the knife at the scene. This means that someone must have removed it from the lab before he arrived. Who could have taken the utility knife from the lab?
I mean, we presume there was someone else.
I presume there was someone else.
Definitely somebody else.
The
Yeah.
actual murderer.
Otherwise, our case is gone.
Yeah, so I guess
And
someone else.
Athena attacked this guy because she witnessed or caught him in the act of the murder.
And someone
That's
in the
a good
act.
theory,
Well,
yeah.
someone, yeah. Them, I should have said, I suppose.
Mhm.
A third person was at the scene. If I trust Athena, then I have to conclude there was a third person at the scene. But according to Ponko's testimony, Athena and her mother were the only two there. So then how did this third person manage to escape Ponko's detection? I know, this person must have fooled Ponko's facial recognition feature by covering their own face.
Their own face.
The person hid their face. But wait a minute, Ponko has a heartbeat detection system too. Even if they covered their own face, Ponko still would have detected their presence. But she wouldn't have been able to tell who they were. Wait, that's it! The culprit could have covered their face and posed as which person to avoid detection. Considering I'm assuming anyway, Metapsychs was dead at this time. The Ponko saw Metapsych's face, saw Athena's face, heard two heartbeats.
It's either Metis or Simon.
Yeah.
Simon wasn't in the room at this time. He would have recognized Simon.
I think I know
Or
who the
she-
murderer is. I'm not gonna say, but I think I know.
If the culprit posed as the victim, that would explain why Ponko thought only she and Athena were there. All they had to do was take advantage of Ponko's basic recognition features. The culprit used this in order to pose as the victim.
Her jacket, because
Jacket.
there's a stabbing.
The taggedy tag.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The culprit could have posed as the victim by wearing her jacket with the ID tag on it. But still, that leaves the heartbeat detection system. How did the culprit get around that? It wouldn't have worked if Ponko could detect the real Dr. Sykes' heartbeat too. So does that mean the real Dr. Sykes was already dead by that time? If that's the case, then who did Athena stab?
The real culprit.
The real culprit. And the real culprit, which I think of, has very good knowledge of robots, so she can fool them.
That's it!
Mhm.
The person Athena stabbed wasn't Dr. Sykes. It was the person who murdered her and then pretended to be her. The real culprit.
Now that Mr. Wright has finally finished thinking, let us bring this to a swift end. Please give us your verdict, Your Honor, so that we can move on to hostage negotiations.
You are absolutely right, Prosecutor Edgeworth. I hereby...
Objection!
I hereby objection.
I didn't say I was finished. I was only pausing for a second. Because I realized something so shocking I had to take a break to digest it. But now I know for a fact that... Miss Sykes is innocent.
But Ponko saw me. She witnessed the moment of the crime.
Yes, Ponko did witness something. She saw the hug. In other words, the moment you used the utility knife. But the person you stabbed wasn't your mother. What are you saying, Mr. Wright? The answer is simple. The person Miss Sykes stabbed was a third person posing as Dr. Sykes. What?
Objection!
Do you really expect us to swallow that, Mr. Wright?
Okay, wording.
According to the robot's statements, there was no third person there. Do you really think I wouldn't see through your ludicrous grab for time?
Objection!
After all we've been through, Mr. Edgeworth, I'm disappointed. And don't you know by now that this smile of mine means I have absolute confidence?
Ha! You make that pose all the time, regardless of the facts.
Calico's strange malfunction.
Mr. Darren, you look pale. Shall I help you to the sick bay?
Mr. Terran? But that's Apollo you're talking to.
Oh, this hunk of junk here is mistaking Apollo for Clay. Maybe Apollo is possessed by Clay's ghost.
That was another case of mistaken identity caused by a jacket ID tag. All because Calico couldn't read Apollo's facial features due to that eye patch. Like Mr. Edgeworth said, a mask could nullify the robot's facial recognition, and then all the person would have to do is wear a jacket with the victim's ID tag to pose as her.
Objection!
Could be Aura. Of all the ridiculous theories, what good would a silly disguise like that do?
Yeah, that's my theory now.
Have you forgotten that the robot has a heartbeat detection system? If there was a third person at the scene, the robot would have detected them.
And she has good knowledge to fool that.
I'm sorry, Mr. Edgeworth, but that doesn't count for much, I'm afraid. Because by that time, Dr. Sykes' heart had already stopped beating.
What?
So does that mean... Yes, Your Honor. The person Miss Sykes stabbed... This third person was posing as Dr. Sykes. Is her mother's real killer.
But that's... I'm impossible!
A mask? The person I stabbed was wearing a mask?
Order! Order in the court! Miss Sykes, did you say something?
Mask? Yes. I remember a...
Athena! What is it?
The mask was also on the table. Or on the...
Yeah, the mask from that room. Oh, shit. Again? I remember a man with a mask.
A man, huh?
How could he? What did he do to my mother? My head.
Miss Sykes, are you alright?
Does she look alright to you? No.
The Black Cyclops! They're breaking!
Wait a minute. I'm totally wrong. I know what happened now.
Do
Wait
you?
a minute. If it's a man with a mask, we have someone who was stabbed
Do we?
with a utility knife.
7 years ago?
Don't mind me. Don't mind me. And I didn't read that last line.
I know you didn't, but I didn't skip it either. It fucking did it on its own.
I thought I was wrong for 1 second because she said a man. Screw you, Athena. I'm messing my head with my head. Huh.
Ruining perfectly good theories.
I know, right? I blame Athena. That's totally not my fault.
Right.
It's all coming back to me. Everything that happened the day my mother was murdered.
They're gone! The Black Cyclops are finally gone! You didn't really stab your mother, did you? It's alright, Athena. Just tell us what you saw that day.
I was drawing a picture. When I was done, I went to show it to my mom. I opened the door, and then... mm,
It's alright. I'm here. You're safe, Athena.
she was on the floor, by the workbench, with the katana sticking out of her. There was a handkerchief over her face, but I knew it was her by her clothes. And there was a man there.
A man? Quiet, Your Honor. Go on, Athena.
A man, baby.
He tried to attack me. In a panic, I grabbed the knife that was there and... He dodged it first, so I only got his clothes. But I tried again.
And this time you got him, didn't you?
I did. I remember it clearly now. The knife went into the back of his hand. Then he kicked me and I passed out.
Kick the child.
Wow.
The murder weapon used on Terran, Athena also used one of these to stab the Phantom's hand during the incident 7 years ago.
The Phantom
The opera.
of the Space Center.
When I came to, my mom wasn't moving. I had to do something. I had to fix her, I thought. So I asked Bongo to move her to the operating table.
It is. Very sad.
Something's wrong with Mom, so I'm taking her apart to fix her.
So that's why she said that. Your Honor, as you can see, the defendant had just given us a critical new testimony. A man was there before Miss Sykes arrived. A man who covered the victim's face and put on the victim's jacket. This man is the real culprit. Miss Sykes, do you have any idea who this man was?
No, I'm afraid I don't.
A few moments ago, Miss Sykes mentioned a mask. Athena, can you tell us anything else about that?
Yes, the mask. It was my mom's Japanese theater mask. I think it was the one hanging on the wall of the lab.
Ah, this mask hanging here on the wall.
It was kind of spooky, that mask. My mom used to tell me that a new mask even has the power to turn an ordinary human being into a phantom.
Phantom? It would seem that a new suspect has emerged. And that means that all suspicion against Miss Sykes has...
You see, this is precisely why I can't trust the court system. Athena Sykes is the murderer. I won't accept any other verdict.
Miss Blackwell, this is not good.
And you suspect? Where's the proof this person ever existed? Who says it wasn't all just a dream in the little princess's groggy little head?
Ah, she's right. We don't have any hard evidence of the masked man's existence.
Objection!
Thank you, Mr. Wright. I'll never be able to repay you for all you've done. But I'm fine now, because I can say with certainty that I did not kill my mother.
Athena, I'm so glad for you.
I'm so happy for you.
More and more memories are coming back now, so I'd like to say one thing if I could. Bongo came to the robotics lab at about 2 p.m. to recharge. I went to the robotic lab at about 2 p.m. for my regular recharge. Just as I was about to charge up, Athena came in and hugged Mommy Metis. And then Mommy Metis fell down. After that, I was recharging, so I don't know anything.
I see where you're going with this. If Mommy Metis was really the killer in disguise...
Right. Then he must have come to the robotics lab before 2 p.m.
Do I have anything here in the evidence that can help me find this person that came to the lab before 2 p.m.?
The video? What was the video recording of? I don't remember. Or...
No,
It doesn't
that's
show
not
the time.
Not that one.
Okay. What about the autopsy? Do we have a time of the murder?
estimated time of death
Between
between 1
1
and 3.
That does not prove that they came before 2 p.m.
Sir, so far our only lead though.
Mm. Mm. Yeah. There's no clock anywhere conveniently placed.
Won't be that. Won't be the moon rock hearing.
I mean, the autopsy report is the only thing we have with a time on it, but it doesn't prove that they necessarily were there before 2 p.m.
Well, the cut jacket doesn't prove any time, and I'm imagining that happened when Athena was attacking the guy that was wearing it.
Yeah,
He dodged the first cut that only just snagged the coat a little bit.
Nick the jacket, yeah.
Hey, zombie.
How you doing?
No time here either.
I really don't know.
Oh, it's safe to assume that our mystery killer also took the moon rock, right? Because that was really their objective from the start.
Mm-hmm.
And they probably weren't planning on killing Ms. Sykes, but got caught in the act.
Yeah. Sure.
Nice.
Yo, what's up, Ben Wills?
Yeah,
How
well,
you doing, my friend?
So, is there... Like, the only thing that gives us a time is before 2 p.m. is the autopsy right now.
Yeah.
Do we have anything else that works better than that evidence?
Yeah,
Because
that I'm
That's the
aware
thing, I
of.
don't
we
see,
used
you
the
know.
Hope capsule to say that he stole it first, or is there anything else that we could use besides the autopsy? Because right now I'm leaning on autopsy.
Yeah, me too, because that's the only thing that has time on it.
So everything else just
Yeah,
isn't
but the autopsy doesn't
conclusive
necessarily
enough.
prove that someone came in before 2 p.m. because it could have
Yeah,
happened
that's
after
the problem.
3.
Yeah, but it does give us a
Wondering.
window, and we may have to just prove the window, and then we might get another piece, and then we could go from there. I'm not exactly sure, but I mean, what's to stop us from just ruling it out? Video's Blackwell
Just the
moving
picture, yeah.
the case.
Yeah, doesn't help us.
Unfortunately, it doesn't give us a person going in there.
Doing good.
So maybe try the autopsy and see if it's not, we just try to think of something else.
Well, I'd be
Sure,
happy
what
to
else?
have you join, Zombie. I don't know that there's a single character that's being voiced right now that you'd be able to join in on at the moment.
Yeah, we have everyone covered for now.
I guess if Pearl comes back, we're wrapping this one up too. So maybe we can start the DLC case.
Yeah, in which case there's
So
several new characters.
yes.
Yeah.
So hang tight.
I don't know, let's try that and rule it out if it's not, and then think of another direction to go to.
Take that!
Yeah, that's not it.
Okay.
What did you present?
The autopsy report.
Oh shit.
So at least we now know
All
it's
right.
not.
So now it's ruled out. Okay.
There is no
Is
time.
it something in this room that proves that someone else was in here? So is that going to be the thing that was put on her face? That hit that cloth on the ground?
Yeah.
Yeah, which is unknown.
Okay.
It's
Cart, huh?
Where's the cart? You can go back.
to the left, right there,
Oh, okay.
covered in all those wires.
Yeah. I saw it.
The cloth was used to cover her face so the robot didn't recognize her body.
It could be both. Way she wouldn't struggle. But we got... Rock was stolen. Hope capsule can be seen on the workbench. There are rolling cases for moving equipment and robot charging station.
Yeah, the clock capsule, the toolkit, everything is where it should be.
Is there something from Blackwell on his picture?
I mean, there's... I mean, the fact that the case is there, but I don't think that really proves anything. That's the same cart there, too, which is...
It is the same
technically in a
cart.
different position. It doesn't really
I
prove
guess
a
the
time
jacket
at
on
all,
the
though.
floor. I guess the jacket on the floor doesn't prove the third person committing the crime before. Because it's her own jacket, so.
At this point, all I could think of is just present everything until the music stops and just keep reloading
Yeah.
if it does it.
Sure, we could do that if we want to just get through it. Alright, fuck that one. Unless you want to read the, his fuck-ups.
Can we
No,
get
it's
a
just gonna
photo
be the
with the
same fuck up
jacket?
every time, and it's gonna be a generic one.
Sometimes you get different ones.
Take that!
Not in the same testimony.
I mean, this is what we do when we run out of ideas. You just present everything.
You mean we
Throw
have
it
to move on?
throw everything at the wall and see what sticks, basically.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this is the
exactly.
nuclear option. What the capsule?
Take that!
Nope.
I keep thinking you're just overriding your save every time.
Take that!
God damn it.
Take that!
It's probably gonna be something silly.
Wait, what is he saying? Reveal the identity of the person who came into the lab?
Yeah.
We're not supposed to reveal the identity. We're supposed to reveal the
Is there
time.
something about the bomber?
No.
Take that!
Nope.
the fucking brochure?
Take that!
I mean, did we?
Got an ad break, but we're not really doing anything but oops.
That is it. That is it then. What? Why is the photo of Blackwell approved? Ow.
Wait, why did that?
Because he's requesting.
Hold on, let's reload it because I didn't. Why didn't the music stop though? That's
I don't know.
Maybe to show the different
Question.
dialogue option.
Take that!
Capsule. The Hope starter capsule.
yeah. We are on an ad break though. I just wanted to get back to this point so we didn't, have people miss it because of the stupid ad break.
Yeah, here's what I mean. Like the game's logic can kind of be loopy.
Oh wait, I get it. Because on the picture of the murder, the capsule wasn't it still there or was it? I don't remember. On the photo of her laying down on the table. Because if the murder was before that time, it makes sense that Blackwell leaves the scene at around 3 p.m. So that does prove that.
Don't worry, y'all. It's okay. We'll get it figured out. If not, we have wikis. And I'm pretty sure this one is the correct one.
It is because it's not showing the same error.
It's
The
not
music
giving us
not
the generic.
stopping. Yeah, the music not stopping though threw me off because it usually stops if you present the right thing.
If the final case can like change the rules, you know? That's usually what happens in these games.
Ad break, when will you fucking end? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This
Your
is
message
Prosecutor
now.
Blackwell
Self-destruct.
leaving the scene after the incident at around 3 p.m. What I'm wondering is, does the video show anyone else passing by there before then?
I don't see anything in the investigation report. It looks like they didn't check.
Just as I thought. So if we rewind the footage and go back to around 2 p.m., we should be able to see the true culprit leaving the scene.
We'll see.
Very well then. Let's take a look. There! Please stop it, right there!
Neat.
It's just like you said, there's a man leaving the scene of the crime.
Looking sus
Miss
as
Sykes,
fuck.
do you remember this person?
That's him. I'm sure of it. He's wearing my mother's jacket. I did, but what I really wanted to see was her jacket.
That jacket is on display. That was Dr. Sykes?
Can you see it? That's the slash I made with the utility knife that day. And I'm sure that knife is under the jacket somewhere.
So then, everything Miss Sykes said. Exactly. It proves that Miss Sykes' memory was correct. Dr. Sykes' killer arrived at the robotics lab before 2 p.m. He killed her and hit her face with a handkerchief. Then he disguised himself with Dr. Sykes' jacket and mask that were there in the lab.
The culprit probably knew beforehand that Ponko charged up at 2 p.m. every day, and that's classified information. So he waited for Ponko to come to the lab for her regular recharge.
By leaving Dr. Sykes' jacket on, the culprit tricked Ponko into thinking he was Dr. Sykes, thereby making it look like she was still alive up to that point in time. All to disguise the real time of death.
Objection!
It's a nice theory, Mr. Wright, but I'm afraid that it's just not possible.
What? Why not? The victim's jacket is clearly visible right there in this video.
And that right there is precisely the problem. The ID tag on the jacket at the scene confirms beyond doubt that belonged to the victim. If the person who left the lab truly was wearing the victim's jacket, then how could it possibly have wound up back at the crime scene?
What's going on? That doesn't make
That's a good
sense. Edgeworth's right. If the culprit was wearing the jacket, how did it get back in the lab?
Not
Well,
The
victim's dead, so it's not the
kid.
victim.
what the fuck is with that option?
So it's either Athena brought it back or the killer brought it back. What's more likely? Occam's razor.
Why would Athena bring it back?
How
so-
or when would Athena have had time to bring it back more even to the point?
The killer brought it back, in my opinion.
The killer used the jacket as a disguise to make his escape. But in order to conceal the fact, he had to get the jacket back to the crime scene. So the culprit simply returned to the robotics lab later and planted it there. Contradiction resolved.
Objection!
Except that it would have been impossible. The only people who came to the robotics lab after the killer were Prosecutor Blackwell and the people who reported the body.
Like maybe his sister?
And they claimed that the jacket was there when they arrived. So, when did you propose this mysterious man of yours had the chance to return the jacket?
A puzzling question. When did the culprit have a chance to bring the jacket back?
Definitely not at the time of the murder, because they escaped with the jacket. As it shows on the camera.
The
Don't
body
know what
was
was
found, huh?
Yeah.
The only time the culprit could have returned the jacket was when the body was found.
Mr. Wright, do you realize the implication of that argument?
I do. Most people, when they come across a murder, focus their attention on the body. The culprit could have taken advantage of that split second to plant the jacket. In other words, the true culprit of this case, the man known as the Phantom, was one of the first people to discover the body. I would have never have thought of that.
We know that, Judge.
Order! Order in the court! What is the meaning of this, Prosecutor Edgeworth?
The body was discovered and reported by a group of 3 people. They were there to collect the space probe's capsule in preparation for the Hat 1 launch. One of those people had a special bag to transport the capsule in.
Oh, you mean the shock-resistant bag?
Correct. I suppose that if the jacket was in that bag, it could have been returned to the scene of the crime without anyone noticing. I'll see to it that you get the reports on those 3 people.
You will?
We should also check the facial recognition database for that robot. If this person felt the need to hide his face with the theater mask, it might mean that his facial data was once registered.
Prosecutor Edgeworth? Does this mean...
I have to admit, I believe Miss Sykes' memories to be credible. You win, right? Not that this was ever an official trial, anyway.
Wow.
Do my ears deceive me? Prosecutor Edgeworth, are you actually conceding?
Wouldn't be the first time,
Yeah.
and won't be the last.
Is it true, boss? Does this mean
I can't believe it. It's over. I won.
Those are goddamn
I
murder.
proved that both Athena and Prosecutor Blackwell are innocent.
You did it.
Your Honor, I see no further need no bleh. Your Honor, I see no further need to prolong this trial.
Objection!
Hold on, Mr. Wright. Have you forgotten who's in charge of this trial? That'd be Prosecutor Blackwell.
That's right. I'm the one who's supposed to say I see no need to further prolong.
Not you either, Your Honor. Now silence. Silence! That's my line.
Little princess who was truly beloved by Maris and who repaid that love with death. Oh, these years, hating Athena was the only thing that's kept me going. But what do I do now? Can anybody tell me? How am I supposed to go on?
Miss Blackwell.
How unlike you, Aura. Metis was deeply passionate about her work, and she chose you as her partner, isn't that?
Shut up, Simon. You know exactly how I felt about her. Her respect as a coworker wasn't all that I wanted.
Then what did
If
you
you
want
wanted
from her?
that sweet, sweet ass.
Did you really just go there, Your Honor?
Aura, there is something I've wanted to say, if you will lend me an ear. I have in my possession a lead on who Metis' killer is. Murderer. That works too.
You do?
Right, Dono. You asked me about the identity of the Phantom of 7 years past.
That's right. The Phantom. The person Blackwell has been looking for, even from behind bars.
7 years ago, somebody hatched a plan to sabotage that Hat-1 rocket. The spy. But he was no ordinary spy. We knew naught about him, his background, appearance. We came to refer to him as the Phantom. At the time, I was working with the police to hunt him down. And then one day, a miracle occurred, and I obtained a lead on him.
Oh, how exciting. What was that lead?
A recording of the Phantom's voice, but the quality was too poor for proper voice analysis. Yet, I had hope. Aura's co-worker was a scientist who could analyze human emotions. So I asked her to evaluate the recording using analytical psychology.
And that scientist was Dr. Sykes.
Yes, a spy's greatest fear is to have his true identity discovered. In addition to the Hat-1, Dr. Sykes' results and the recording were serially among his targets. But his search for the Space Center bore no fruit. He must have started to panic.
He couldn't find them. But where could they have been?
Who is to say?
Wow, I bet he's never letting that out of his sight. I bet he's never let that out of his sight all these years.
How in the world did you smuggle them into prison? Oh, I have my ways. What's more, my partner is especially talented at that sort of thing. I worked to lure the Phantom in by spreading rumors throughout the underworld. I was even granted permission to prosecute cases to attract the Phantom's attention. Just try to retrieve your identity, you bloody butcher, became my taunt.
And what about the results that Dr. Sykes drew up for you? Was there any useful information?
Here, you can see for yourself. But take good care of it, so I have left of my mentor.
I will. I'd better hold on to this real tight. Subject's emotions rarely fluctuate. He doesn't experience feelings like normal people do.
That is cool. This is so cool.
The psychological profile classified. Emotional output of this voice extremely weak compared to typical voices. Heyo, Asti! What's up, dude? Thank you for the raid, brother. How's it going? How was your stream?
Welcome
to
in,
Doritos.
Raiders.
Good to see you.
Hey, SD.
Hope you guys had a good time in the stream. Anyone coming in new, if you haven't been here before, my name is Shaylee. I'm a variety streamer. Got my love, Desi Storm here. My best friend, Pretty Hero Dude. We're playing some Apollo
Yo.
Justice. Thank you for the hydrate. Buenos nachos. I could go for some good nachos myself. That would be great. I'm freaking hungry.
You played that game on stream like once, and we actually have a quote for it. Wow.
How's it going, dude? How was your stream? Emotional
What's up,
output
Nasty?
of this voice extremely weak compared to typical voices. Subject deemed to have a unique psychological makeup with almost no emotional fluctuation. No emotional fluctuation, huh?
A spy who experiences no emotions, not sadness nor anger, and naturally no fear. He is
What?
the very
Go ahead.
He is the very definition of a phantom, a monster with no heart. Don't you see?
We all knew that, Asti.
This creature is the rot that destroyed our lives and set what ails us all into motion. A phantom indeed, a fitting name for the one who has brought darkness to our world.
Well then, it seems a faint image of this man has started to take shape. Based on what we have learned, I'd like all of you to conduct further investigation. This is not a formal trial, but I do want to follow protocol. If I may, I'd like to hand down my verdict and bring these proceedings to an end.
Whatever. Do what you want.
You know, I had that game on my wish list, but then I was informed that it was a gacha, and I kind of lost interest in it.
Mm. Humph. You'll hear no objections from me.
Yes, please, Your Honor. It's over. It's finally over. Very well. In that case, Prosecutor Blackwell, could you please take the stand? As a result of this trial, your innocence has been proven. The verdict handed down 7 years ago is hereby overturned. And now, the defendant of the current trial, Miss Athena Sykes.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Wright, thank you. Thank you for everything.
Athena, you're more than welcome. If everyone is ready, I will now give my verdict. But my problem isn't necessarily that it's about the gotcha mechanic of it necessarily, although that is technically a problem because I end up spending a lot of money on gotcha games and I'm trying to cut back on that. The problem with gotcha games in general is that they're forever games. You have to spend you have to log in every fucking day or else you're gonna miss out on shit. You gotta play it constantly. The stories are ever evolving and continuing on and on and on and on, and it's just something you gotta focus so much time and investment into that I just don't feel like doing it. Did I read this line? I think I did.
I think you
Yeah.
did.
Or did you? I don't know. Wait, what?
Who would object at a time like that?
You
Apollo? Why
Oh,
no
that's
object?
good. Apollo!
What is the meaning of this?
No, you had not. Congratulations, Mr. Wright and Prosecutor Edgeworth. You uncovered the truth from 7 years ago, and you saved Prosecutor Blackwell. However, I can't allow this trial to end just yet. Why, Apollo?
Okay.
Why would you
Okay,
do this
Cyclops.
to us?
Tell us. To be continued yet again? Well, that's all the time we have.
Well, that's
Y'all have a
shitty.
good night.
No, it ain't.
I'm just kidding.
I clicked the wrong button, apparently.
Yes, you did.
Yes, so?
Yes, hope. Oh.
I haven't touched it. December 20th, District Court, court number 4. And it can't possibly be as crazy as this fucking court case.
Right.
Mr. Justice, please explain yourself. It's very simple. There isn't much to explain. The defendant, Miss Athena Sykes, might not be innocent. Wait, what? What are you talking about? The case from 7 years ago has been settled. I'm not talking about the past here, I'm talking about the present case. It's still not clear who killed Clay Tarrant.
That is not what we're doing here, Apollo. But, Apollo, why would you...
Miss Sykes, please listen quietly to what I have to say. What in the world is Apollo trying to do? Your Honor, please allow me a little of the court's time. But this is a trial for the case from 7 years ago.
Exactly.
Miss Blackwell, I'd like to ask a favor of you. Just as you lost someone close to you, I lost someone close to me too. I'm sure you want to know the truth of what happened as much as I do.
Apollo. Sure, you know I'm all for the truth. Now, let's see you expose the princess's guilt. Judge, I give my permission. Continue with the trial.
Very well. Is that all right with you, Prosecutor Edgeworth?
The prosecution has no objections. Let's hear Mr. Justice's testimony. I'll have the police's investigation report brought immediately.
Not you too, Edgeworth. I really hope it's because you have something up your sleeve. Very well. Your opening statement, please, Prosecutor Edgeworth.
As you wish. Let's review the case of the murder of Mr. Clay Tarrant. It was made clear in the previous trial that Solomon Starbuck was not his killer. Therefore, the true culprit was someone else. On that day, this culprit waited for the astronauts in boarding lounge 1. When the two men made their escape out of the Space Museum, the killer attacked Mr. Tarrant with the same type of knife that was used 7 years ago. The murderer then escaped into the Space Museum. Next, Director Yuri Cosmos switched the launch pads. After that, do you want to say goodnight?
Well, I was gonna do it afterwards, but fine. And no worries, Ashley. Thanks for the raid, dude. But yeah, absolutely take care of yourself and get some sleep. Much love, brother.
Good night, dude. Rest well.
Dreams.
After that, the culprit exited the Space Museum and escaped via boarding lounge 2. Therefore, this trial must make clear who Mr. Tarrant's true killer was. In other words, we must discover who it was that escaped through the Space Museum that day.
Thank you, Prosecutor Edgeworth. Mr. Wright, is the defense ready? Yes, Your Honor. I'd better rearrange my evidence. Now then, Mr. Justice, your testimony, if you please. Apollo Justice's accusation. I suspect Miss Sykes of the murder of Clay Tarrant. My growing suspicions were confirmed when this incriminating evidence presented itself. In addition, she's the only one who could have utilized the launchpad switch to escape. That is why I wish to indict Miss Sykes on the charge of murder.
On wants to indict her.
Order! Order in the court! Mr. Justice, you realize you're charging your own coworker with murder, don't you? Yes, Your Honor, because that is the conclusion my investigation has led me to.
But Apollo, why? How could you suspect me too? Or how could you suspect me too?
Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, please. I don't get it. Just what did you find over the past few days to make you think this? Now I gotta cross-examine myself.
Have fun.
I suspected Miss Sykes of the murder of Clay Tarrant.
Hold it!
What first made you suspicious of Miss Sykes? It all started when Miss Sykes and I were investigating the crime scene. When she saw the weapon that killed Mr. Tarrant, my bracelet reacted. She said she'd never seen the knife before, but my bracelet told me otherwise. And then every time after that, my bracelet would react when she talked about the case. Poor Apollo must have been beside himself during that investigation. I didn't know what to do or think. I couldn't even sleep. In that condition, I knew I wouldn't be any good in court, so I decided to wear an eye patch so I wouldn't be able to perceive any of her tells. So that's why Apollo was acting so strangely. But the reason Miss Sykes unconsciously reacted to the knife that way is because she stabbed her mother's murderer with one identical to it 7 years ago.
Objection!
I don't know. But that knife was also the murder weapon that was used to kill Clay Tarrant. My bracelet could have also reacted to her because she knew she was his killer too. That's just speculation. Ugh, I guess he has a point. But my bracelet wasn't the only reason I became suspicious of her. My growing suspicions were confirmed when this incriminating evidence presented itself.
Hold it!
Yeah, just magically presented itself.
That's the lighter that was found in the Space Museum with her fingerprints on it, right? But even if it seems decisive, there must be other facts we don't know about it yet. If that's so, go ahead and prove it then. Look, honestly, I don't want to believe it's true either. But Miss Sykes was the only one who was in the Space Museum at the time of the murder. But Mr. Justice, Miss Sykes had absolutely no motive to kill Mr. Tarrant.
Objection!
7 years ago, Miss Sykes lived at the Cosmos Space Center. It wouldn't be so strange if she has some kind of connection to him. Besides, people sometimes kill for motives we can't even imagine. I know you've seen plenty of cases like that in your own career,
Well, you
Mr.
need
Wright.
to prove that, fucker.
I still can't believe this. How can you actually suspect Athena, Apollo? In addition, she's the one who could have utilized the launch pad switch to escape.
Hold it!
Isn't it possible that somebody else used the same escape route? I'm afraid not, Mr. Wright. Why not? Recall there's a security camera in the boarding lounge 1 aimed at the launchpad door. It's the camera that captured Mr. Tarrant and Mr. Starbuck. But there's also another security camera in boarding lounge 2. It recorded Mr. Tarrant's killer, or rather Miss Sykes, coming out of the Space Museum. A camera in boarding lounge 2? First I've heard of it, but it makes sense. Athena said she had snuck into the Space Museum the night before the incident, and then was overcome and passed out until around noon the next day. Athena?
Oh. I was out until about noon of the next day. I didn't even know about the explosions. When I woke up, nobody was around, so I just went out into boarding lounge 2.
That must have been when the camera captured her. And that's what made Apollo suspect her even more. But, wait a minute. In that case, it most likely recorded the true culprit as well.
Objection!
That's a negative on that one too, Mr. Wright. In the footage taken after the incident, Miss Sykes is the only one who appears. What? Why? Order in the court! That can't be. But if it is, then it is incredibly incriminating.
Wasn't it you who proved in the previous trial that the way the true culprit escaped?
And we have an ad break again.
Bummer.
Through the ads. That's how the true culprit escaped, through the ads.
Yep, the camera had an ad break, that's it.
Oh,
I mean, if we're
God.
speculating, there's my speculation.
I'm sorry, what's your speculation?
That the culprit escapes through the ads.
Ah,
That's, yeah, joke speculation.
got it, yeah. I thought you followed with actual speculation.
No.
What do you mean? That's my actual speculation. Come on. I'm not joking. Obviously.
That quote was from my birthday in 2022.
Oh my. Oh my. That's one way to celebrate your birthday.
I know, playing games with other people.
And, you know, do
Getting
stuff
yourself
like-
off, apparently.
You're a warrior, huh? A warrior.
It's more like a Kira bot.
Yeah, it's a bot, for sure. And thank you, Shavan.
We are back from the ads.
Was via the Space Museum after the pads had been switched. A fact you previously proved turned on its ear, leaving your client high and dry. I must say, that is vintage Phoenix Wright.
That is why I wish to indict Miss Sykes on the charge of murder.
Hold it!
Believing in your client to the end is the basic principle of good defense. Shouldn't you extend that same principle to your own coworker? You're probably right. Maybe I'm not even fit to be a lawyer. However, I don't care. This case is special to me.
Personal.
Personal, more like, yeah.
Clay was my friend. And that's why I just have to know the truth.
And that's why you're being a douche here.
And that's why your judgment is so clouded, because it's so personal to you.
Apollo suspected his trusted coworker of killing his friend. To dispel his doubts, he investigated on his own, but that only led to more doubts. Apollo must have been really struggling with this. Well, Apollo may
And
have
sleep
doubts,
deprived.
but... I'll say it again. Athena Sykes isn't the murderer. Then I have only one thing to say. Evidence is everything in court. Well, Mr. Wright, you think you've got concrete proof to knock down my arguments? Your arguments have been very clear, Mr. Justice, and your facts appear to be indisputable. Well, Mr. Wright, what do you think of my theory? It looks like not even you can deny it. Miss Sykes was the only one who used the only possible escape route.
Under these circumstances, there can be no other suspect but the defendant.
Hey, I appreciate it, X. Unless... you think there was an alternative escape route? Is that what you think, Mr. Wright? Is that what you think, Mr. Wright? Is that what you think, Phoenix? Was there an alternative escape route?
I don't remember anymore.
Sure, let's bluff to the max.
There's so much evidence. I'm so lost in all
Oh,
the
we got
evidence.
the bomb back.
Yeah.
Emergency ladder and the lighter.
They were looking for escape routes.
Was there a hole made by the bombs, maybe?
Not in any of the places that he would have been. Because the killer supposedly went into into the museum, which did not explode.
Hmm.
Because of Starbuck in turn are authorized, equipped with backup power, point recognition attempts reported via security camera. Starbucks prints were found on the scanner after incident, and that's just a picture of that. And then there's the trash chute, of course. The propelled a lighter with an Earth emblem on it to their left, and da-da-da-da. Although, I mean, like I said, there is that trash chute. Like, you could have used that
I
to
mean,
escape.
there's someone that can fit in the trash chute. That is an escape route.
Showing the
In a way.
defendant and victims escape from the corridor. That's just them. A lighter with Earth emblem on it on the left hand and the
Even if it
right.
doesn't lead outside, they might be able to use the trash just to hide there,
Yeah.
and
For
then
a bit.
escape during, when they could find an adequate time to do so.
But then, how did the evidence the lighter get planted on Athena if he went out that way and didn't enter the room that she was passed out in?
Well, it wasn't on Athena.
It was.
That was presented by Bobby
Oh.
Fulbright.
Oh, rather, how did it have her fingerprints on it? Rather, that's what I meant.
Fingerprints and victims of blood. Who knows? They had to procure that, or Phantom, right?
Maybe they've been on that for 7 years.
Yeah. It might have taken that lighter in the original case.
Well, realistically, like we have to prove that there was an alternate escape route. So, because that's the only solution. If we say no, then we're just
Yeah.
gonna get an end of case. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Well, you could say no and see what happens. So everybody.
Of course, there must have been. Just don't ask me what. You're just bluffing again, aren't you? I gotta go to the bathroom. I'm sorry.
No, stop. Come back.
He knows me too well.
Stop, don't come back.
Muffin button?
Bummer. Trying to remember if we have 20 minutes or like 50 minutes left of content here for this case.
I mean, with the speed we're going, I think we have enough content.
Me? Bluff? No way. He knows me too well.
Yeah, we're running out of time.
It's fine, Mr. Wright. Even a bluff would suit me just fine. As long as you can clear up this doubt inside me. Wait, so is that what this is all about? I want to believe in Athena. I really do. But what is faith without doubt? That's why I need to question her guilt. So that once the truth finally comes out, I can really fully trust her.
So that you can really trust me?
It seems your junior partner has just showed us what trials are truly all about.
I believe you're right.
We prosecutors painstakingly question every detail in pursuit of the defendant.
While we lawyers believe in and defend our clients to the end. When both sides go all out against each other, that's when we discover the truth.
Precisely. And when the battle is over, we will understand the true meaning of trust. That is exactly what trials are about, wouldn't you agree?
Yes, I couldn't ignore the seed of doubt that was growing inside me. So I decided I needed to face it, head on! No matter what the truth is waiting ahead, I won't be afraid!
Stop hitting all the furniture.
That's already broken.
That's so like Apollo, always uber earnest about things like this. Mr.
Want
Justice,
tea as well.
I vow to dispel every last bit of doubt in your heart. Good! Because I want to believe in Miss Sykes again! You're really hoping there was an alternative route, aren't you, Apollo? But if I use the process of elimination, there really aren't that many possibilities. Director Cosmos was at the southern exit, leaving only the control room and the corridor of the Space Museum. Which door could the culprit have used to escape through? Come on, Mr. Wright, where do you think the culprit escaped to? Trash chute?
Sure, let's give it
Yeah,
a shot.
that's what we all think so. Let's see if it's that.
Hello, Virgil on YouTube. Welcome in.
Sup, dude?
Now we have Virgil. Where's Dante?
It's the only thing I could think because there's no way he went through the door because the. But I can't
Probably lost in an inferno somewhere.
Yeah.
Let's say, but I don't know that that's the only place that you could have escaped. You could have gone through the trash chute.
There's-
It looked pretty huge.
Like,
Like, look at how big the trash chute is on the side there.
Yeah.
and
You
the,
can only
the
see a
man
corner
wasn't.
of it.
And some people thought that man looked like a woman, so I would say that that man is very small in stature.
Yes, he is.
But
Take that!
cameras could be misleading.
I don't think that's it. There? I doubt anyone could have escaped that way. Yeah, that's not it.
Really?
Okay,
Then what the fuck is it?
so do we do the Space Museum itself? Or did he hide in the control room? Did he find some way to bypass that door lock?
I mean, if he is... No, because he... No, I don't think he could have done that. I mean, that's the only other direction, though. So how do we prove that he could have gotten through that?
Let's check our court record again. How could he fake the command?
The fingerprints.
Well, let's look at his again. Like the directors. The door leading into the control room.
I don't know that there is a picture
So
of
there
the
should
door
be a
leading to
it should
the
be a
control
red
room.
door, right?
Yeah, I don't have a picture of that. Not part of the evidence.
I thought it said it could work in emergency situations where an override would occur.
Yeah, maybe.
And a bombing would do it. Would count as an override, right?
Is there... There's no evidence stating that it can be opened during a...
I remember reading one of the rooms when it was evidence.
Oh, like, could he have gotten out the window and taken the ladder? The
There
emergency
is a ladder there. One Aura used? Could he have somehow broke through that window?
No, because the window wasn't broken. It's not like there's a place to click on it either.
Right. And then we would have seen the broken window.
Take that!
Yeah, no, it's not that one either.
And that leaves us with the
Space Museum?
Space Museum.
I mean, but we're trying to prove that he didn't take that, so that doesn't...
Take that!
They really only could have escaped to the corridor of the Space Museum. All they had to do was use the unconscious Mr. Starbucks prince to get through the door.
Objection!
It appears that you are trying to establish is Ms. Sykes' guilt. If the culprit used that route, the only exit would have been into boarding lounge 2. The logical conclusion of your argument is that the killer is none other than the defendant.
I knew it! That's the only way it could be, huh? If the culprit escaped to the corridor that leads to the Space Museum, then I guess it's true. The only exit would be to the boarding lounge 2. But Miss Sykes was the only person captured by the boarding lounge 2 security camera. I investigated the crime scene thoroughly. But the only place the culprit could have escaped to was the Space Museum corridor. There weren't any other secret corridors or anything.
That leaves us with no other conclusion to draw that Athena Sykes was the culprit.
What could the answer be? Was there really no other escape route? But, hold on a second. What if... Where did those mysterious leaves we saw from the corridor come from? What if they're clues to the culprit's real escape route? I think it is possible that the culprit escaped into the Space Museum, but then came out using a route other than the boarding lounge number 2. Oh? Launchpad 1 and the Space Museum were switched after the bombing, meaning the Space Museum corridor was moving along the railing at the time, which is exactly when an alternative escape route opened up for the culprit. Are you kidding me?
Judging by the intense look in your eyes, I take it you're serious. Very well then, Mr. Wright, do tell. Where could the culprit have gone from the museum corridor besides boarding lounge 2?
To the launch site?
The launch site. Yep. Do it. He jumped out the fucking window. Or the corridor. Do it!
Take that!
Just do it!
We found something odd while investigating the museum corridor this afternoon. Namely, a few dead leaves on the floor. Considering where dead leaves come from, they point us to exactly where the culprit escaped to. Yes, I remember seeing some leaves myself. Ah! Do you mean?
Yes,
it does. Yes, indeed. How's it going, friend? Yup, while the Space Museum was in motion, just beyond the corridor's safety door was an alternative place the culprit could have used to escape. In other words, the culprit's real escape route was the area outside the Space Center.
You're
insane!
Objection!
Do you know how impossible that would be? The corridor is level with the 3rd floor. Even if the culprit tried to leap outside the wall of the Space Center building, they would fall to their death.
Objection!
Ordinarily, yes. But after the bombing incident, the culprit could make use of a certain item.
And what item was that exactly, Mr. Wright?
Oh, so he jumped out when the ladder from the robotics lab was there.
Yeah.
So he did use that ladder, but it was because he was on the outside when it was there.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, this is what the culprit used to leap outside the wall of the main building.
Take that!
An emergency ladder?
There was an emergency ladder in the 4th floor robotics lab, and it was used the day after the explosions to help evacuate people.
Doesn't that disprove or see that person?
Miss Blackwell herself used that ladder to escape down to ground level. Recall that the launch pads were switched after the ladder was lowered. The corridor would have passed by the ladder while the pads were being switched. And that's when the culprit literally sprang into action.
He did a timing jump.
And leapt onto the ladder. What? Who would have imagined? Order! Order in the court! Well, an alternative escape route seems to have emerged.
Against
Which
all
means
odds.
someone other than Miss Sykes could have been the culprit, right?
Objection!
Making things up on the fly in an attempt to sway the court again, are we, Mr. Wright? Your theory has so many holes. It puts Swiss cheese to shame.
Oh my god.
Alright then, name one.
I have here detailed information about the Space Center, according to this. The distance between the museum corridor and the main building during movement is... just enough. A full 20 feet.
20 feet? You're pulling my leg, right?
In addition, the corridor is 3 floors from the ground, or roughly 50 feet. What's more, the culprit would be leaping to a precarious place, an unstable ladder.
Irk.
Human beings feel fear in dangerous situations. It's a basic survival instinct, but this man does not. An ordinary person would certainly hesitate before jumping. Or even freeze in fear and not jump at all.
Objection!
But the culprit had just murdered someone. They weren't just in an ordinary state of mind.
Objection!
Indeed, Shaban. Nevertheless, why would they have taken that kind of risk? They could have waited for the switch to be complete and escaped to boarding lounge 2.
Objection!
Because there was a security camera on boarding lounge 2. The culprit knew they would be recorded if they left the Space Museum that way.
Objection!
In that case, the culprit could have hidden in the museum until things settled down. And then blended in with the other people after the museum was opened.
That's a good point.
But you claim that, despite all this, the culprit took a 20-foot death-defying leap? And all in the brief moment the corridor and ladder passed by each other.
That's also a good point.
They would have needed a running start while the corridor was moving to make that jump. If their timing was off, or if they couldn't jump far enough, it would have been instant death. But we didn't have a death, did we? Not in that place. What kind of person would attempt something like that?
Stop bringing up good points, Edgeworth.
This true culprit of yours is nothing but a figment of your imagination.
Why do you always have to point out every flaw?
That's how we find the truth, Phoenix.
Mr. Edgeworth is right. That does sound pretty insane. The culprit would have to be someone who feels no fear, like a stuntman. But everyone feels fear on some level, right? Wait a minute. Aha! I've got it this time. I can prove there is someone who could have used this alternative escape route.
Oh, can you now?
This proves the possibility of a person who could have used the alternative escape route. Oop, there it was.
Present the
Take
results. Get 'em.
What's that, Mr. Wright? This is a certain person's very interesting psych profile. The subject doesn't experience feelings like normal people do. In other words, this person doesn't feel happiness, sadness, or fear. Doesn't feel fear?
What? Right? You can't be serious.
Without the constraint of fear. He could easily do what an ordinary person wouldn't dare. just as you or I could do a broad jump on the ground without the slightest fear. This subject could make a 20-foot leap, 50 feet up in the air. He could choose this extreme way of escaping without hesitation. So, you're saying that a person without fear, the alternative route would be quicker and eliminate the chance they'd be spotted? That's definitely pretty extreme, Mr. Wright. But was there such a person there at the scene? Yes, the Phantom. That mysterious, shadowy figure who keeps popping up. Oh dear.
A phantom. Again?
I knew the Phantom was there behind the scenes at the Space Center bombing, but I wasn't sure if he was connected to the murder of Clay Terran as well. However, now it's all clear. The Phantom is the one who not only bombed the Space Center, but also killed Mr. Terran.
What?
What? Order in the court! Order, I say! Mr. Wright, please continue. There were just too many similarities between this case and the one from 7 years ago.
Judge needs some popcorn.
But why, you may ask? It can only be because both incidents were the work of the same Phantom. So then, this Phantom is the one who killed Clay? But who is he?
Who indeed?
This Phantom has been haunting this case, pulling the strings in the background. Who could this unidentified international spy be?
Right. This escape route must have been a part of the Phantom's plan from the start. As was tricking Director Cosmos into switching the launch pads. The bomb on the second floor was meant to make the elevators and stairs unusable. That's why he gave advance warning and planted the bombs where he did.
Yes, I think you're right. But it doesn't explain this one last thing. Well, Athena said it was a guy.
Yeah, it's not an assumption.
Oh, that's Ara.
So I lowered my emergency ladder like the detective leading the evacuation told me to. But it was such a pain. Why couldn't they have used the ladders in the other rooms?
The robotics lab wasn't the only room with an emergency ladder. But he couldn't have made that leap unless he was certain which one it would be. So, you mean... an ad break starting in 50 seconds, sorry. The Phantom must be someone who knew the particular ladder was going to be used?
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Who could it be? Wait a minute.
Yep. So I lowered my emergency ladder like the detective leading the evacuation told me to. She's the only one who said she ever used an emergency ladder.
Miss Blackwell lowered the ladder after being told to by the detective leading the...
investigation.
Ah!
Oh.
Wait.
Do y'all realize what just happened here?
You've got to be kidding me!
Wait a minute.
Did you figure it out right? Do you know who the Phantom is?
Yes, I do. Who is it? Who killed Clay? Our mystery spy, known as the Phantom, is none other than...
Present that motherfucker. Do it. In justice we trust. In justice we trust. He said it.
After
Every
the
time.
explosions, a member of the staff crossed paths with a certain detective. Oh, that's her. Sorry. No name. What's not doing that for? I think it's Ara.
Oh. I was on duty on the fourth
Or-
floor.
No, this has got to be him saying it.
Wasn't it Fulbright,
Oh, was it
though?
him? Oh, was it him?
I
Yeah.
think so.
Yeah, oh yeah, it was. You're right. Wait, no,
Yeah.
no, because it says a member of the staff crossed paths with a certain detective. That was probably me.
But then it's a quote.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's Bobby. Oh, we got an ad break right now though, so don't bother reading it.
All right, all right.
Come on, I was just starting to like him. Come on, you can't
I
do
know,
it.
I know. They hit it so fucking well too. Like it was like that was a shocker for me too, because
It's
I
the last person I would've ever
suspected,
expected.
but I didn't really think they were gonna go there.
God damn it.
But the whole, I mean, think about it. Like the mannerisms that he does, the way he like is like a what's the thing? His emotions are just all over the place. He switches from one to the other like really quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't this game absolutely incredible?
It's so
Ellie?
fucking good. Like again, this is one of the greatest cases they've made, and it's still not the best one. There's still good to come.
Oh, for sure.
Oh yeah.
The final case in every game though is always like the best one of the entire game. But this is one of the best one of all the games for sure.
I still like case 5 or case 4 and 5 from 1 and case 4 from 2. Those are still my favorites. In case like the whole Phoenix Wright 3, you need all of them for it to really hit.
Mm-hmm.
Just like Apollo Justice has been, just like Spirit of Justice has been, and just like the next one will be.
God damn though, that fucking this reveal though that Bobby Fulbright was the fucking criminal this entire
Fulbright.
goddamn time.
He called him a fool the entire time.
Welcome back. Ads end in 2, 1. We can read. Frenny.
I was on duty on the 4th floor. It was quite the madhouse, I tell you.
As for the detective who was leading the evacuation from the 4th floor, he had a very specific objective in mind.
So I lowered my emergency ladder for the 15th time, like the detective in the evacuation told me to.
You better do it. If I say 16 times, you're gonna do it another 16.
His objective was to secure an escape route. His own escape
Otherwise, I'll
route.
fucking stab you. With your own goddamn sword.
Who's gonna read that?
I'm pretty sure that's Aura again.
Yep.
We lowered the emergency ladder from a 4th floor window and escaped that way.
Or maybe it's not.
I don't know.
Once everyone else got out safely, I made my way down too and headed to the shelter.
Yeah, that's Bobby for sure.
That shit confused me for the second time.
This is a detective you all know. He's even the lead detective on the current case. He appears to be a very emotional man, but his psych profile says he is without emotion.
Take that!
What are you saying?
You mean the Phantom is Detective Bobby Fulbright? Exactly, we're all taken in by his fake persona. Detective Fulbright's real identity is the Phantom.
Wait, are you saying this is the Persona game?
Order! Order in the court! Mr. Wright, how could this be? That's easy, Your Honor. Detective Fulbright was leading the 4th floor evacuation effort. Our first clue is that he had made no attempts to have any other ladder put to use. The ladder in the robotics lab is the only one he ordered to be lowered. The second is that he directed everybody to the basement shelter via this ladder.
Verily, it was all part of his plan to create an escape route.
After Detective Fulbright saw to it that the ladder was lowered from the robotics lab, he went to the lounge where he killed Clay Terran and escaped into the Space Museum. The museum started moving, slowly, so he waited for the right time, got a running start. And just as the corridor was passing the ladder, he leaped onto it.
I don't believe it. That addle-pated detective did all that.
Was it really him? I mean, all this time? I thought...
He was a fucking moron?
We all did.
Sorry, we didn't catch your name.
An imbecile? My name? I'm Bobby Fulbright. The heroic detective who defends our good citizens from evil. The champion of justice who comes running whenever you're in need. And my catchphrase? It's in justice we trust.
Then, this concern for Simon was also all just one big act?
I swore to reform Prosecutor Blackwell and make him a valued member of society again. So I can't just sit by and watch him give in to his emotions and tear the defendant apart.
That monster killed Clay? He had me completely fooled! Come to think of it, he's the one that brought that bloodstained lighter to court, too!
Yep.
The scumbag even made me turn on Athena! Damn it! How the hell did I fall for all that?
For him to have wormed his way into the police department as well.
Your Honor, the defense demands to question Detective Bobby Fulbright. Yes, I agree. We need to hear from him right away. The court will take a short recess, and then Detective Fulbright will take the stand.
I could tell, Chauvin, and no. She did seem sus, but she did honestly
Too obvious.
love her. She loved Metis. She wouldn't have killed him, and I don't think she was responsible for the bombs either. That's why I ruled her out.
I feel like there's a character history, right? December 20th, 5:13 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 5.
Thank you so much, Mr. Wright. If it wasn't for everything you did, I...
Don't think me
Still
yet.
think you killed your own mother.
We still have an uphill battle to fight.
You got it, boss. Apollo?
Oh, this is awkward. Athena, can you do me a favor?
Huh? What is it?
Punch him in the face.
Could you... punch me, please?
Were you... Did you remember up in your was just...
I didn't remember. I just thought that's what he would say.
What? Why should I do that?
Because I should have believed in you. I let the seed of doubt inside me get the best of me. I'm really sorry that I didn't trust... Ouch!
Don't be such a dope. I was really touched by what you did.
He wears gloves all the time.
But you're wondering why he sniffs his hand all the time.
Huh? Now what are you talking about? I want to believe in Athena. I really do. But what is faith without doubt? That's why I need to question her guilt. So that once the truth finally comes out, I can really fully trust her.
You took the time and effort to genuinely think about who I am and what I'm made of. After all that, how could I punch a true friend like you, Apollo?
Didn't she just do that?
You didn't have trouble slapping him a second ago. Thanks, Athena. And thanks for waking me up to reality again. Guess I know who to call if I ever get sleepy in court.
Or sloppy.
I don't know who
Is
this
that
is.
right?
Oh, Edgeworth.
Oh.
It looks like you have some promising young people working under you.
Edgeworth. Yeah, I think they're pretty great myself. And they're not afraid to keep me in line.
Anyway, I have some very good news. Aura Blackwell has surrendered, and the hostages have been set free.
Trucy and all the others. Oh, thank goodness.
Ms. Blackwell said she had something she really needed to do. So I granted her special permission to do what she must.
I wonder what it is. Miss Blackwell!
I didn't come to apologize, if that's what you're thinking. My actions are what allowed the truth of what happened 7 years ago to come to light. But it did come because I had something to say to all of you. Miss Aura?
She'd better not be here to complain about something.
Ms. Blackwell, I want to apologize to you. The fact that you couldn't trust the court system is our fault.
Ha ha ha, yes. It's true the courts are filled with incompetent idiots. Still, I suppose I could let you handle the rest of this case for me. Miss Aura, does this mean you're starting to trust the system again? It's gonna get pounded.
Nope. Mm-hmm.
No, of course not. Be quiet, hunk of junk. It's just, I wouldn't mind if you were the ones who took Metis' killer down.
Leave it to us! We'll get him! So I guess that means she's starting to trust us at least.
That's a step forward. Blackwell!
Nora.
Simon, I'm so glad both of you and the princess were cleared of suspicion. And it's all thanks to me and my robots. You'd better be grateful.
I never imagined you would go that far.
Athena.
No. That's not it?
No, he was
Answering
answering
hope.
someone.
Oh, okay. Sorry. They're like, this is an Athena line. I'm like, did my eyes deceive me? I never imagined you would go that far, though you always were extreme. But I don't recall ever requesting your help.
As closed as ever, I see. Well,
That's
now that you've been
actually-
released,
His sister.
I guess it's my turn to go live in the slammer. I just hope you're not the prosecutor for my trial. It'd probably give me the death penalty.
You know me all too well.
The grin, I love it.
I guess love can take on a variety of expressions, including stunted in their case.
But I truly was about to be executed tomorrow. Though because of you, it looks like I won't be crossing the sticks just yet. You have my heartfelt thanks, Aura. I'm sorry I caused you so much anguish.
Aww. Simon. I'm so glad, Simon. So very glad to hear you say that.
Aura,
Alright. That's enough of that. Baby, take me to the detention center.
No, that's their brother and sister, Hope.
What the fuck? Oh, holy shit. No! Oh,
Hope
get
just
all
wants to
those
ship.
process out of your head.
What Miss Blackwell did was inexcusable. But
They're
it's
both
clear she did it
crazy.
out of love for her brother.
I still can't wrap my mind around Detective Fulbright being the Phantom. None of us can!
I can't believe he killed Clay.
and murdered my mentor, which brought great distress upon little Athena. Chief Prosecutor. Yes? I would ask a favor. Would you allow me to stand at the prosecutor's bench for this trial? I wish to claim the Phantom's head by my own hand. That was my plan all along, after all. It's highly unconventional for a man of my position to stand in court. Sir. The formal paperwork has yet to be filed. You are hereby conditionally released.
Yay.
So that's what it was really about. Yeah, we all have a crush on Aura. No matter how foul she is. Please take the prosecutor's bench in your official capacity. And uncover the truth by your own hand. I'm much obliged.
Yay.
She's great. The day to part with these has come at last.
I don't like you properly wear them.
Chief Prosecutor, could you? Why didn't you just break them yourself, dude?
I mean, yeah.
It's more meaningful to have somebody actually
I know,
take the cuffs
I
off,
know.
not just break the chain.
We're just playing around.
How long I have waited. Maybe it's the sense of freedom, but even the air seems fresher. The light brighter. And I will relish slashing that blackguard Fulbright to shreds without mercy.
I don't have to be able to read his heart to see how happy he is.
I'm so glad, but I won't cry just yet. After all, we've still got a trial to finish.
It's okay to cry, Athena, I promise.
Is it okay? Okay, then I'll
Prosecutor
cry.
Blackwell, Mr. Wright, please avenge Clay's death for me. What are you talking about, Apollo? You're coming to the defense bench with me. I am? Well, I can't expect Athena to assist me, can I? She's the defendant. That leaves you, Apollo. But, are you sure you want me? I took a leave of absence and everything. Well, our office is pretty short-handed, and you're all I've got. Thank you, Mr. Wright.
Apollo.
Athena, I can say it with all my heart now. I believe in your complete innocence. And now we're gonna prove it to the world.
Thank you, Apollo. I know you
Yes,
can
it
do
is, although not Apollo, but there is an Ace Attorney anime.
There is, yes.
I don't know how many seasons it has in it. I'm pretty sure it hasn't gotten to Apollo Justice, though.
But yeah, that's why it seems cartoony at times, because it does go there for laughs. They have to have moments of levity because there's a whole bunch of just depressing shit. Like the trauma that Athena was literally going through.
Did you read this line?
I did.
So, you won't be needing that eye patch anymore, right? Right, because I'm fine now.
You never needed it to begin with. Well, so much for looking cool, Apollo.
Yeah, he's back to not looking cool. Boo.
But maybe back to actually being cool.
Mm,
Rather than a dick.
Mm-hmm.
Now this is the Apollo I know.
Welcome back, Apollo.
Even took the bandages off. It's almost time for the trial to restart, though it looks like you have things well in hand.
Yep.
I should head back to the prosecutor's office.
But why?
I want to look into a few things, namely, the first people on the scene 7 years ago, the facial data registered by the robot, and Detective Fulbright's background.
Sounds great, Edgeworth. Thanks.
I expect to be repaid with a victory, right? Now, if you'll excuse me.
Okay, you two all set to go? You bet I am!
Let's do this.
This is it. The final battle. The murder of Apollo's friend. The courtroom bombing incident. And the case that ushered in the dark age of the law 7 years ago. Destiny has called us to bring the one responsible for it all to justice today. And I believe here's probably a good point to call it. We only got 9 minutes of stream left, and that's a great cliffhanger to leave it on, I think. Rather than mid-sentence or something.
That's about as despicable a thing as something I'd do. That's pretty damn cold.
Unless we're looking to extend the stream by an hour, which I don't think we want to do.
No.
Extended stream. He wants to do it. Oh no. But what will my voice do?
I need food in my system.
I could use some food myself.
Yeah. I would like to eat as well. I'm just a weak human. Back to it.
No.
We just stream on my end, and then yeah, we start a printy stream again.
Hey, I appreciate that, Salvin, but we really should probably call it a night. We got enough to, like I said, I doubt that we're gonna finish what's left of the case in an hour, honestly.
Yeah, it might take
enough
longer.
progress
We
for
might
today
need the
anyway.
whole. And that way we could at least have the start of the next case too. During that. Because we should be able to finish it within, you know, an hour or two tops. And the rest could
Holy
be on the DLC
fucking
case.
shit, though. The goddamn twist of Fulbright, right, guys?
That was fucking crazy. And we just got a raid too, so that's another twist of fate here.
I mean,
Just-
you guys knew that, but I'm guessing you were kind of shocked by it, like me. So I'm guessing you forgot about it.
I remembered that he was the killer, like in the middle of case 2.
Yeah, no.
Like when it was LaBelle, and I was like, "Oh my god, that's right!" And I had to keep that shit to myself.
You did good, Brainy. You did good.
Yeah, no, it's hard not to remember the big twist at the end.
Right, that one was definitely one I remembered, but like, there's a lot where I'm just like, "How did I forget all this shit?" Like,
But yeah. Seriously, the storytelling in this game is just so goddamn good.
they have really good ones. Sometimes it's obvious and you'll figure it out immediately. Like my first Phoenix Wright game was actually 2, because I thought that was the beginning. And
Anyway.
that case was really fucking obvious.
Raid's about to go out. Much love, y'all. We're sending the love over to Vault. He's playing Blasphemous. He's an awesome dude. Hope to see you tomorrow for
Oh, I had it backwards.
some more Elden Ring. Seamless co-op. Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching.